You need a great opener, like somehow we're adults. Do.
We can record that right
some
now.
Some kind of like.
We can record that right now.
Everybody be quiet.
Somehow we're adults.
Bro, the R2D2 with a dick. Ever since you sent me that, there was a fucking.
I saw that thing too when
I sent it to you because
I saw it before and I didn't send it to you, but I thought about it. I thought about sending it to you and I didn't. I was just like,
yeah,
fuck it, I'm so tired.
Fuck it.
But he's like looking at the fucking crew there.
No,
like, no, stop it.
So,
bad.
So
because they track on to radars, I'm pretty sure, and
it's just a fucking passenger liner, and it's like,
Yeah.
no. I like how the dude's laughing at it too, like, don't you do it.
stop, and just like goes down, and, like starts looking around for shit.
It's like a tragedy's right there, and this thing's like, just fucking looks up at
Chops
it.
an airliner in half.
Bro.
That'd be hilarious.
What's the range on those things? Far?
Atmospheric, I don't know.
Far enough where it'd rip that thing in half.
Yeah, watch what's that I can see it here now. Couldn't see it beforehand, but have you seen Elon Musk's Starlink? Is that what it's called?
The satellite?
Yeah, the little satellite chain he has.
Uh-uh.
So in Macedonia is the first time I ever seen it. It's just like
Where's Macedonia?
by Greece.
Oh, it's a country.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It recently got its joined NATO, and it used to be part of Greece, but got its independence in the 80s or something. But the satellites came overhead, and we're like, "What the fuck is that?" And it's just a bunch of like a stream of just. You're like, "Are those helicopters?" And like, dude, fuck
aliens
no.
are real,
They're
bro.
way too high. But yeah, there's just his Starlink thing going overhead, and
nice.
I've seen it here recently, actually.
I haven't seen it.
Apparently, when we were there, they said you can't see it from the United States, but apparently they're wrong, or they just got a new one over here. I don't know.
No, I haven't looked at. I mean, I don't honestly look too much into that kind of shit.
You know what it is for? Like he's supposed to be trying to get internet to the world for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I know what Starlink is. Yeah. I thought about getting it out here if they do make it a thing. Sorry, we're getting a question.
It'd be shitty if it'd be hilarious if it like it only works when it's overhead.
Bro, I would be so pissed.
Worse than dial-up.
Bro, because it's just expensive. So we were looking at getting Starlink out here. I think it's like an $800 startup cost, and it's like $150 a month for satellite internet. Yeah.
It's like, listen, we gotta install the spaceship on top of your house. Right?
Fucking. Well, no, it's a little. I mean, honestly, have you seen it? Like what Starlink looks like?
What is it, a Tesla that sits on your
It's
roof?
fucking pretty cool looking. Well, the one that, because apparently the way it works, I'll show you. I'll pull it up here. The way it works is this is they make basically they're like, oh, are you in a serviceable area and all this shit, right? And if you're not, which I am not, then you have to get the roaming one, which is like what people will use for like people that do it's the fucking shit where you like go around in a van. You know what I'm talking about? Like a schoolie kind of people who like live out of like a tiny house. You know what I'm saying? What are those like Sprinter vans? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh no, but I did see your guys' Tampa RV resort on the way here, and made me think of you for some reason.
Thanks. No, so this is
so appropriate.
So, thanks, bro. So I don't know. Shit just looks fucking like clean as fuck. I mean, it literally looks like if Tesla made a fucking internet satellite dish thing.
Yeah, just plain. It's like you're gonna put this white plate.
It's like here's this like giant iPad with no screen, no buttons. It's just an iPad, and then you have like a stand.
Yeah, Elon's not really big for like flashiness. You know, everything he does, like even the cars, like the
Super
cars
clean.
look cool, but they're just like
like
fucking
simple.
super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These kind of things, like the Sprinter vans that they like outfit to be like campers. Bro, those things are fucking stupid expensive.
What is that? Is that a Tesla thing?
No,
Just
this is just
Starlink?
like so. This is the travel one, yeah. So this one here is the one I would have to get. It's the travel one. So it's basically like I guess
You have to have a van in your fucking front yard.
no, Jesus Christ, do you really not know what these are?
I don't.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. So these are like Sprinter vans, and they basically like they're like tall enough to where you can stand inside of them, and people will put like a bed and like a little kitchenette kind of thing in there, and then like that's like a big thing. Like, did you ever hear about Gabby Petito, the chick that got killed by her boyfriend?
Oh yeah.
Brian.
They found her in the
Brian Laundrie.
They found him in the
They found him in the Everglades, I
it was
believe.
like the water receded or something, and they found out a backpack or some shit.
Yeah. And then she was found dead in like fucking Colorado, Utah, or whatever it was, somewhere out west. But they were traveling around in a van like that and like living out of it and doing YouTube and stuff out of it. So it's like a big thing, dude. Like all those RV places sell them now, and dude, they're like as much as a house. Like some of them are like a couple hundred, like 200,000 plus.
For a van,
bro. I think it's stupid. I saw.
Shit better transform.
So, right. Do you know what Airstream is?
Yeah.
So Airstream makes their own versions of it too, and they start at like $240,000. That's so to live in a bedroom.
Yeah.
To live in a drivable bedroom. I'm like, nah, dude.
Well, it's like, those are like California prices. Those aren't even like realistic.
Well, they just know it's a fad right now, and I'm like, you could buy something that like you could buy a truck and their bigger trailer for less.
You could buy. Yeah, a trailer pulling or a truck that pulls a mobile home like a camper shell.
Like an RV, yeah. That's what I'm saying. You could buy an Airstream RV for cheaper, like the camper, and just tow it behind a truck that you just bought for cheaper. And it's have more space, and then you can park it, and you can drive the truck around to go do shit.
Yeah, doesn't seem like a...
And we just got off on a weird tangent.
Yeah.
But
Internet.
So, okay. I wanted to start the podcast by saying welcome back. And normally I don't do turnaround podcasts like really quickly with people, but like after the last one, edited was 4.5 hours. I was like,
what it ended up being overall, like 6 or 5, some change.
I want to say it was like 5 and some change. By the time we like edit out bathroom breaks and like,
dog breaks.
Yeah, just different shit like that. And like, there was one point you told us a story that you didn't want to put out there, and we cut that out. And
oh yeah, with James.
It was just personal stuff. It's nothing crazy. It's just personal shit that you don't want to put other people's laundry out. I don't blame you for that, but like cut shit out like that, and it was trimmed and edited to fucking 4 hours and 38 minutes. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was long. I listened to the whole thing again. So
again?
No, not twice.
Oh Jesus! I was about to be like, motherfucker. I've listened to the whole thing.
I really like the sound of my voice.
I was like, Jesus Christ, dude! You just jerk yourself off listening to it. Jesus Christ!
I was like, hey, look how funny I am here. Look at this moment right here. I'm hilarious.
No, it was a good time though, because I didn't expect it to go that long. I don't think either of us did. But either way, we didn't get into as many things as I wanted to. But no, I figured it would be a good time to especially because my plans got canceled for this weekend, and I was like, hey, you want to come back on?
Yeah.
Plus, I figured if you have a couple of drinks, you might just be like, oh, well, let me tell you about some shit I'm not supposed to talk about.
Yeah. So there I was in the woods with that. What would we say that thing was? The fucking hair?
You guys told me the name of it.
Wendigo. There you go.
The Wendigo. Yeah.
I actually
wrote
it.
About it.
I was supposed to tell you that was classified.
His name was Ed, and he was a friend of mine. Dude, I don't even know where to start. So what was dive school? We didn't really get into dive school too much when you kind of glossed over.
Yeah, first came into Florida.
Yeah. So you went it was like one sentence. It was like, yeah, I went into dive school, which that was fun, and then we talked about what you did for work after that. But what was dive? So you don't have to go to dive school to get a diver's certification, do you?
Not for for scuba, no, but for commercial diving, you do.
Okay.
It's like a license.
How'd you know you wanted to do commercial, not just recreational?
Because I think a long time ago, or when I was I think it's 18 I had to have been 18. I just got out of high school. I just graduated. My mom and stepdad got in an argument or something, and then we left to Florida because my grandparents had just moved down here. Not here, but Pensacola, Gulf Breeze area. And we came down and visited, and I as a typical 18-year-old, didn't know what I wanted to do with life. And so...
Bro, I don't think that stops at 18, though.
Yeah, that's true. So
I don't think either of us still know what we want to do with our lives.
Well, I have a pretty fucking good idea now.
But in 5 years, it could be different, too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
That is life.
But either way, we came down here. It was pretty cool. I looked into, she's talking about what if we move down here? How would that be? And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And then we didn't move down here though. But I started it was the first time I looked into a jiu-jitsu gym though. And I actually went and looked at it and tried to see if they were open or whatever. But I again didn't know shit about jiu-jitsu back then. And assuming it was just business hours between this time and this time. But
9 to 5.
Yeah, but it's only those class periods, So I tried to come in. Nobody was there. But then later that day, while Googling that kind of crap, I looked up like a dive. I came across this dive school. What was it? CDA? Yeah, CDA. Commercial Diving Academy in Jacksonville. And
Is that where you guys were at that time?
no, we were in Gulf Breeze, so opposite end of Florida.
Like in the Panhandle?
Yep. So I was like looking at the school, but yeah, I was just like, oh, this sounds kind of interesting. And I started looking into it because, to be fair, when I was doing my Navy like stint, when I was like looking into the Navy and stuff, I did look at a SEAL, obviously, and I was doing the stuff with the SEAL stuff. But I also
you're telling me about that last time.
Yeah, and I also looked into they have divers too, Navy diver, so it's called, and so
You were still in the Navy at this point, or no? You'd already been through the Marines and everything.
yeah, I was never in the Navy, unless you're assuming.
No, because you mentioned something about the Navy last time.
Oh yeah, I was doing the Navy SEAL like, it's like not, it's like they're just their like entrance thing. It's just like can you
potential pathway?
Yeah, well, it's just like they're you're not even enlisted yet. You're not even like in the Navy. You're not anything. You're just in the Marine Corps we call them poolies, where you're just like you're not even a recruit. You haven't been through shit yet. You're just like waiting to go. And so while you're waiting, I wasn't waiting to go. They were just, it was the see if you can even like if this is even for you kind of thing. Like if you can't hack it in the pool and doing all this minuscule crap we're doing,
We're not gonna spend
good
money
luck
to send
actually
you
going
out.
to, yeah, like why would you even try to do this contract? Ended up chipping paint off of a ship, but
You ended up doing that?
no, that's what you would end up doing.
Oh.
Like if you don't make it, because there's no combat jobs in the Navy field, like Navy or branch. It's just like SEAL, SWIC, maybe EOD. Like those are spec warfare things, but those are not like. Versus like being in a Special Forces or Ranger, you could just go back to 82nd, 101st, some kind of infantry unit or something like that.
Navy doesn't have an infantry.
No,
They just have specialized
The
shit.
Marine Corps is their infantry.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So the
That
Marine,
makes sense.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So where the Marine and Navy are super related, and then the Air Force and Army are very related. The Air Force was born of the Army, and Marine Corps of Navy.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, so I looked into it for a second. Looked into Jiu Jitsu as well for a second. Then I enlisted and went off and whatever. And then when I got out.
What year is this? Like how?
That's
or
2011.
when you got out?
No. I got out in 2017. This is when this took place. I had
Okay.
just graduated high school, and
And you graduated in 2011.
yep. So it was like that summer or something,
Okay.
or winter, whatever. I think it was summer, fall.
We're splitting hairs, Andrew.
Yeah.
Splitting hairs.
Either way,
Fact checkers, independent fact checkers.
You weren't there, you fucking liar.
no. So it was, yeah. So either way, because I had done that one time, I was just like, got out of school, I got out of Marine Corps in 17. Like I said before the last time, the SF jump school thing didn't work out. I was supposed to go to jump school, and they
SF
lost
for
my
people
time.
listening, is Special Forces.
Yeah, Special Forces Operational Attachment Alpha.
Yeah. If you get too
SFOTA.
military too quick, you're gonna lose me. So I know you're gonna lose other people.
Well,
so I got to keep other people along for this
Like
ride
I said
too.
last time, that thing. So I got mad, and I was like, oh, I don't want to wait because at that point I was waiting 6 months like before. I was like doing the little seasonal flower job and all that shit. So then, so after I got
What is it?
frustrated.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got caught up on that. So you said seasonal flower job?
Yeah, remember I said I was talking about where I worked for Home Depot. And
Oh yeah.
stacking flowers and shit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You like glossed over it and I didn't pick up.
Yeah. And so I was while I was doing that, waiting to do my
Yeah.
SF shit.
Yeah. Which if you haven't listened to that, that's a funny story. Well, I don't even know if it was a good story. You just were like I remember you telling the story and being like, and they'd be like, "What is this plant?" And I'd be like, "I don't know, bro."
Yeah, I don't fucking remember.
It's just some bro like asking him like,
You know where the petunias
gardening.
are at? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Is it this? And they're, no. Like,
Pulls out
I
his
don't
phone,
fucking
Google's petunia. Just like,
take this. I'll send this picture to you. Send me your number, and you walk around and you find it.
and then you tell me because I'll
Yeah.
need that in the future.
Yeah, then we'll just text about it. That's how I got girls' numbers and flower.
Jesus Christ.
Not really, but either
Probably though.
way, not really. But shut the fuck up. But when we did, when I did that whole thing, when I got out, I looked at the school again because I was like, you know what, fuck this bullshit, blah 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 blah, and I was just like, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah.
Like now that the military's pissed me off. Then I was, you know what, that fucking dive school looked pretty interesting, and then I looked into it. The pamphlet was really cool looking, and it was just another, like, I don't know, it just felt like when you go in the military, when you get to the military, it's like this big shock and awe at first, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm like really doing this thing, like this is really happening, like your life's about to change, like fucking 100%.
Yeah.
Didn't matter
Well, they
where
break
you're
you
from.
down.
Well, yeah, it's just in general, like that lifestyle is just completely different. It's gonna be different. It's just your world flips upside down, and then dive school is just another one of those things that's just like not to the same grandiose life-changing thing, but it is a crazy thing. Like one time I spent like 8 hours underwater in pitch black, and then like coming out of the water,
sketchy, dude.
Coming out of the water after 8 hours of pitch black, like I say that back. You could see like little glimpses of light from like cytoplankton or phytoplankton, whatever the hell they're called.
Mm-hmm.
When they get hit, they light up.
Yeah.
And you just see like your little bubble streams go past your head because the bubbles would hit the plankton and then it would like light up.
And what was is this like on a job or this is
No,
at
this
school?
is at school.
Jesus.
And
On purpose they did that too?
yeah, we had a project to do or something, and I was faster at doing something. I forgot what it was, but either way, I was just like.
So you're just operating by feel, or was it just like a?
Yeah,
I'm picturing in my mind like fucking. What's that movie with Ashton Kutcher? You know what I'm talking about?
Butterfly Effect.
No, the one with it's Ashton Kutcher, but he's like a in dive school of some type.
Oh no, that's
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
What's
that's
the name of the movie?
That's Rescue Swimmer.
Yeah. But what's the name of that
I
movie?
heard that called.
But you remember in like he was in the school and he would like sit at the bottom of the pool and shit. So I'm just imagining you in pitch black, just like fucking just sitting at the bottom of the pool, crisscross applesauce.
It's not.
That's what I'm imagining in my head when you say 8 hours. I'm like, what the
I
fuck are you
can't-
doing for 8 hours in dark?
Well, it was like we had to do like this. We had to build some kind of like. I think I was tying like ropes or something to make around the entire bridge apparatus. We were supposed to be like surveying or something. I forgot what it was, but I was on there for a while. And when you're in pitch blackness like that for so long, like a work day, you just everything in your head is just you like. For me, it was like everything was like drawn for me in my head. It was like I had a white canvas in my head, and every time I touched something, I was like adding to the picture.
Can I make a weird parallel that most people don't know? Mm-hmm. So I was blind for an hour when I was a kid.
Weird.
So when I told you I had autoimmune disorder, and it was classified as MS at one point. When I was like 9 years old, 7, 8, 9, something like that, was when it was like peak worst it had ever been, and my immune system was attacking the inner lining of my brain, and so my like the spinal fluid that floats around your brain, like my body was creating too much of that, and it pinched off like my nerves in my eyes, like something to that effect. Long story short, I remember sitting because my health condition was affecting my eyes, and I remember just being like, fucking like look over. I just like moved my head towards my mom and was like, I can't see. And I mean, fucking scary thing to say to your parents, right?
Was it like pitch black?
Yeah.
Like black you can't see, or is it like blurry?
It was black. Like I couldn't see fucking hand in front of my face. And I remember like that happening, and I told my mom that. And obviously, they start freaking the fuck out, and I'm like they're freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, I just have to pee. Like, can I go pee? And I remember like touching my way. Like they were like gonna help me, and I like touched my way to the bathroom and like went and peed in the bathroom. They were like astonished that I like navigated to that.
Yeah, it's because you said that's like
I've been in this room for fucking 3 days already. Like I knew the bathrooms over that way. It's just don't hit the shit that I know is between here and there.
Yeah, blind people know the paces in the house. You know what I mean? Like they know the steps where where to go, what to do. And then for me, I knew basically when I was underwater, generically what I knew there was. Every other pier had so if you look at a bridge, you have the pillar that goes down, and then you have a pier cap. This is the concrete brick you can see that's hanging out of the water, and then underneath that has piers. And it has like 6 to 8, I think, and something like that. But every other one it seemed like for that bridge anyway, every other one was the opposite number. So 6, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8.
No.
And when I was down there, I was trying to find out what that one was to,
Was this like at the end of dive school?
No, this was like middle.
So, and this is like, to put it into perspective, like you were not a strong swimmer when you went and started doing that, right? Well, you had left the Marines at that point, so you were pretty decent.
I was good at swimming. I just didn't have maybe the underwater confidence that I would wanted to have.
Right. Did that develop it for you, going to dive school?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Definitely gave me that. Well, it was just mainly like, I have this thing even when diving. It's something about, I don't know, it's weird when like water touches my nose, I like swallow air. I don't know, it makes me burp though. Gives me the sensation I have to burp, and I'll burp. It's like when I just exhaled a bunch of air, and I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah, that was some oxygen.
Yeah. So yeah, that I had to get over that. Like I just stopped doing that. But yeah, the first time, like day.
How long is dive school? Start there.
Like 7, 8 months, something like that.
Okay, so your first day there, like, is this something you like kind of like a boot camp kind of thing? Like, do you stay there?
It had a military feel to it, but it wasn't. Yeah, you do stay there though. It is on campus.
Because I remember you telling me the bunks and the walls and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you are on campus.
What drove you to go to that? I still don't understand. Like, what made you want to do it? No fucking idea.
I think it was just the thing that I had thought about before joining the military to do. It looked cool, looked interesting, and then I knew it was. And probably even more so after the fact was just like, oh, this is the next austere thing to do in the world.
When you say that, what do you mean?
It's just like the next chaotic, most like dangerous.
Is that what drive? Does that like you like shit like that?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say you.
Yeah.
I mean,
still kind of do, but
Jiu
it's like,
Jitsu.
I don't know. I feel like I've done it enough now, or done. I don't know, experience, because you don't feel that it's dangerous at the time or when you're doing it. You just
I guess that's
know that inherently is.
That's the point of life when you're like 18 to like probably 20. I mean, I imagine the ending point is different for people, but that's when you feel like the most invincible. And maybe that's why you were drawn to shit like that.
Yeah, I think it's just used to doing it because, from 19 to at this point, 24, or 24th birthday is when I came to Florida to dive school. And at that point, that's all I had been doing.
Yeah.
So
just crazy shit. Yeah. You'd been pretty comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, and just whatever the chaos was, it was just
you couldn't work a regular ass job and feel normal.
And I felt like I was at my best personally when I was under stress, like when I was under like some kind of duress.
Okay.
Like
you feel like you handle that high stress environments well.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like I get more focused. I just start, my decision making gets better, and it's all instinctively like reactive to things. It's not like I'm like thinking about something. It's just reactive, and I just think that I get to this like instinctual, responsive place, and then everything just works out better, or it just At
least it feels that way.
Yeah,
you feel comfortable in those areas.
Yeah. So, and afterwards, I'm not like shaking. Afterwards, I'm just like, whoo.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah.
Yeah, like in dive school, like even in dive school, like, so 2 moments in dive school were like, you're just like, dude, this is gonna suck. Like, was when, like, I think the instructors.
I'm sorry. I hate to cut you off again, but I already cut you off when you were talking about the 8 hours underwater.
Uh-huh.
What was it? You said when you came out, you started to say that. What was it like when you came out?
Oh, it was just weird. It was just like seeing, like, you're like, oh my God, real life. Like, it's kind of strange.
You like walk around touching stuff for a second.
Like, oh my God, colors. What is this? Yellows are so pretty here.
Yeah.
Like,
how did you get oxygen that long? Do you connect it to like a breather?
It's air. So people always confuse oxygen for air. Air is what we breathe here.
Yeah.
And air is 78% nitrogen, 21 point something percent oxygen. So
depending upon where you are.
Yeah. And at atmosphere, or just above sea level, the first atmosphere above sea level. Yeah. So, and then the more oxygen the more percentage of oxygen you have, the less depth you can have. So like rebreathers on the military uses are 100% oxygen, and they can only go down to about 20 feet because anything below 20 feet, or even at 20 feet, you're susceptible to what's called oxygen-induced seizures.
Where you get too much oxygen.
Yep, your body can start convulsing because it's oxygen.
Imagine being the guy that
saturated.
fucking found that out.
Well, yeah, you're saturated.
Jesus
Your
Christ.
muscles are too saturated in oxygen, so it starts convulsing and flexing to start trying to use that oxygen up.
Fucking crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
and
I
then-
didn't know. I had no idea that they could only go
Yeah,
like 20 feet or
I
down to
forget
20
what
feet.
it's called. There's a term for it, but
Because I know that there's the opposite effect too, where your muscles don't get enough oxygen and they start convulsing and fucking snapping together.
yeah. So I think it's at the deeper you get, the more dangerous oxygen becomes to your lungs. At 60 feet, which is approximately 2 atmospheres, oxygen is lethal. It will burn your lungs. You'll die.
Yo, I had no idea.
Yeah. So at 60 feet, your lungs will just cook themselves and die. It's too.
With just pure oxygen.
Yep, 100% oxygen. But
I didn't realize that. Well, I guess that makes sense. Rebreathers. I don't even know how those work, to be honest. Oh, so
From what I've never used a rebreather, but from what I understand, it's just hot air. It's full of hot oxygen, and when it's a self-containing, scuba is an acronym. You know that?
no, I did not know.
Self-containing underwater breathing apparatus. Yeah. So
First to me.
Rebreathers or Mark V's.
They were developed for the military, right? For
Yeah.
Navy SEAls.
Yeah, they're self-containing as well. Like they just when you breathe, the bubbles don't leave though. They recycle. And like that little box on their back has oxygen and like it recycles it and doesn't. So there's no bubbles out of it. So it would kind of ruin the point of stealth.
Yeah.
But
And that's the idea, is that they can sneak up on people in the water, as long as it's not more than 20 feet deep.
yeah, which is fair because like realistically, you're not seeing that far down, especially at nighttime when they're most of the time using those things, or in the ocean. If you're in the ocean, you're not seeing shit.
Yeah.
But
So explain the difference between a regular, like what people think when they think about scuba diving versus a rebreather. So a rebreather, it lasts longer because it uses the oxygen that people blow out. But in scuba, when you like exhale all of that carbon dioxide, oxygen, everything that's leaving your breath goes like out in bubbles.
I think it's every breath you take, every time you breathe. So if you have a bag and you're breathing into the bag, I think it's every time you inhale exhale into the bag, then inhale back in. You inhale 3% less oxygen involved in that. So you can hyperventilate yourself, which
because you're getting less and less oxygen.
which is actually kind of good for diving because your body becomes more carbon dioxide
Rich kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's if you hyperventilate and go down, you can breathe longer. So your body can sustain itself longer without oxygen. Because the further you go down, the deeper you go, the less oxygen you need, percentage-wise.
So if you condition yourself for needing the less oxygen as you go down.
Yeah, so you think like saturation divers who dive like 300 plus feet underwater breathe on helox. 98% helium, 2% oxygen.
Bro.
Because if you think about
This
it,
is like you're like blowing my mind right now.
Yeah,
It's like
so-
hard for me to even retain what's going on.
so if you think about it, after 25 feet, the volume of air that your lungs can hold is cut in half. So like if you took a full breath at surface, went underwater, and then exhaled that air out, and then rebreathe a full breath of oxygen in, as you go up, the volume of oxygen air in your lungs would double. It'd blow your lungs up.
That's why you have to what's the shit called? Not decompression.
You have to exhale. Well, when you're coming to the surface, you have to exhale.
Yeah.
And but if you come up to that, being bent is different than it's called POIS, pulmonary overinflation syndrome.
You know what I'm talking about though, when people surface too fast?
Yeah. You can get, there's two things. You can get a POIS, pulmonary overinflation syndrome, or you can get bent. And bent
stands for something though, doesn't it?
Benton, named after Benton something.
Basically when you you're
Bent something disease.
too much oxygen goes into your blood and it bubbles.
No, too
or
much
something?
nitrogen. The nitrogen bubbles in your blood expand.
Yeah.
You get lodged in your joints. So
Cause heart attacks.
Yeah, so an
fucking
easy way of
strokes.
telling you what type 1 and type 2 is bilaterally or unilaterally. If you have it on one side, it's probably type 1. Type 2 is both sides. It's super easy to fix. Just get a decompression chamber, and they'll pressurize you down to however depth.
Yeah.
And then bring you back up at the
But
appropriate time.
you have to
those
get
bubbles will
there.
circulate.
You have to get to that before it kills you, kind of thing, right?
No, being bent doesn't kill you. It just hurts.
It can't kill you
You have to be careful about taking hot showers shortly after being underwater too.
because then it expands it more.
Because it will expand them, and you can get bent in the shower.
Oh shit! This, just for everybody listening, is why I have no desire to scuba dive ever.
The lore behind nitrogen toxicity like that is that you heard the term Davy Jones's locker, the idiom that is Davy Jones's locker.
Mm-mm.
So Davy Jones's locker is an idiom for the seabed, the floor, like the bottom of the ocean, or any ocean. So it's nitrogen narcosis, or not nitrogen narcosis, nitrous toxicity or being bent is considered. It's called the toll for breathing where no man should breathe. So that's the toll. So if you can only stay, that's why you only have a bottom time for certain depths. So like certain depths you can only stay down for so long, breathing air, everything in general really. But you have bottom times, and you can only stay down for X amount of time, however far you are. And as you come up, if you don't come up, you have to come up slowly, or is it one or 30 feet a minute or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 40 feet a minute. I think
Isn't
it's
it
40
like
feet a
you go
minute.
like 30 feet, stop, go 30 feet,
I think it's
stop.
40 feet a minute. No, it's like that's your ascension rate. You have to stop at other places to pause to decompress at times. And these are all done in dive tables. You like plan this. You plan your dive, you dive your plan, is the saying.
Yeah.
And so you have to take these tables and do this whole thing, this conversion process. And there's a book. It tells you like how long you can be down for this depth, for how long, and what are your dives. We have to like, before you can even like do any dives like that, you have to like know how to plan a dive. And I think one of the hardest parts of the tests you had to take there was like doing math with time. That was mind numbing.
Because everything's in 60 seconds.
Yeah, because you can fall. So typically your descension speed it doesn't matter. It's just how fast you can clear or equalize.
I'm assuming you use like a lot of weights and stuff like that. And, well, maybe not so much for you. Because when I went lobster diving, I say diving, lobster scuba or snorkeling, in order to like be less buoyant, we put like on weight belts.
Yeah, we
that
wore
way-
weight belts. We would
Yeah.
wear it because we had to counteract the helmet, wetsuits, and stuff like that. So you'd wear one just so you could be walking on the ground. But
It's kind of cool because like I never had done that before, and then they were like, "Oh, you need to buy one of these." I was like, "Why? You can't just like swim down." And he's like, "It makes it like 3 times easier. Like it does make it like way easier."
yeah, you sink like a rock. Like
But like it's almost like I don't know. It's not like the ones we had it like perfectly to where like it just made it to where like I would sink right below surface just a little bit. And so, but like it made it swimming to the bottom so much easier.
Yeah, you sink. I think for diving when we have a 45-pound weight vest or weight belt on is I think 75 feet a minute.
You're telling me, bro.
Yeah,
You said it with a question mark. Like I was supposed to answer
That's how
that.
fast you fall. Like
75 feet a minute.
Mm.
Jesus Christ.
It was fun when we got to deep, like jumping way the fuck ahead. But like when we got to deep dive school, like you're like descending through these. We got to 142 feet. I
heard that's crazy.
I never got narked, but
I heard it's like Bubba, the one that I hunt with that I've told you about before, he dives, and I think he told a story on this podcast. Huh?
it's funny to think about. Like,
Dude, he's fucking really into it. If you ever need people to go dive with,
the guy that I would picture that with the name Bubba in a scuba dive. Diving would be hilarious.
He's actually really smart though. Like, long story short, but regardless, he said that he's done like I think he was like 130 feet or something like that. And he said that like when you go that deep, it's literally like he said the way he described it was like Superman like hitting the crust. You know what I mean? Like just like sinking down. And he said it was just like you feel like you're going fast as fuck, and you're just like,
you do. Like I was like, so dive school we had like we'd do this to our like helmet, and it would turn on a light,
mm-hmm.
and you're like I call it underwater astronaut literally because you're like an underwater astronaut. You're literally just walking around the bottom of the ocean. But we had these like little chains, the platforms that you had to get to that had certain depths at it. and you had a gauge you could watch as well, and you'd always dive with another partner, and they'd be like, divers, make your depth 50 feet, and then you'd be like, all right, and I'd turn my free flow on, which kind of pressurizes the helmet. The free flow helps push water out of the helmet, pressurizes it, and then the oral nasal.
Oh, so you don't have like a respirator on kind of thing?
No, it's a helmet.
Oh, dope.
And so you push the oral, I think it's called oral nasal, whatever the hell it's called, and it blows air, because inside the helmet has like a little mouthpiece thing like this, and it blows air into that. So if your helmet filled with water, you could hold that bitch down like you would a regulator, like you can purge it.
Yeah.
Hold that button down and it'd blow air into your face, even though your helmet's filling with water, and you could hold that and you could be breathing off of that air and then pressurize the helmet and push all the water out of the helmet.
Oh, dope.
And so, the fuck?
Yeah, bro. It scares you, doesn't it? Yeah.
Like,
That's why I make people wear the headphones, because you hear that shit without headphones, you don't even notice it. But you can hear it in the microphone.
But then, so they're like, divers, make your depth, 50 feet. I'm like, Roger. And I'm like, and I turn that bitch on, and I would just like skydive, literally. Just like
that's what he told me.
I would jump off the edge, and like the chain would be like right here on my head, and I'd just be like literally, I would try to go head. You can't go upside down because water would go in your helmet, but I'd like be pretty fucking close, and I'd just be skydiving. My guy, they're called tenders that sit up top. And he's like, I would just like let it slide across my forearm. It was like the hose would just like fucking just like flying down.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and they're like, all right, when you get to the biggest drop is from 50. You go to 50 to 70, and then 70 you drop 70 to 130, and then I was on the lower side of the platform, so I dropped lower than that, so I ended up getting to 142 is what depth I had.
How does it feel down there?
Cold. And
do you feel the pressure?
Yeah, you can kind of feel it on your chest.
Is your breath shorter?
Kind of, yeah.
Because you can't expand as much.
Yeah, you feel like it's you on your chest. I feel like if people are claustrophobic, they probably get a panic attack. I mean, if you're claustrophobic in general, you probably wouldn't put that helmet on, because I never had claustrophobia before, but when I first put that fucking thing on, I was like, I can understand. I understand it.
This better fucking work.
Yeah, I know. Well,
imagine that too.
I'm getting to that story.
Oh shit.
But yeah,
so people that might be toning him out from all the specifics.
Yeah. So when I got to the bottom, it's funny because when you're talking, because your buddy doesn't get to talk with a regulator in his mouth.
Right.
You can talk with a helmet on, and you sound
dope.
You sound like a chipmunk.
Because
your vocal cords are compressed too, so you sound when you're talking. I'm sitting here talking. Everyone is at bottom, and you're like, what the fuck? And so I was just telling jokes and like fucking off, and like I was with my dive partner. I would like. It's really dark down there. You can only see with your helmet light, and he didn't have a helmet light, so I turned mine off so he couldn't see. Or no, I didn't have one. He had one, so I could see him. He couldn't see where I was at unless his lights hit me. And I would hang from the bottom of because it was a graded. It was like the platform, the huge platform was graded, and I would hang from the bottom, and I would crawl on the bottom of the platform.
Like fucking like a scary movie.
And I would wait for him to get closer, and he can hear me talk. The tops people can hear me talking. He can't hear me talking. And we did find a way, if you put your heads together, you could hear each other talking. But I like would jump. I would sit there, wait for him to like be looking at something or examining something, because you're kind of down there forever. And I would like be sitting there at the edge, and I would jump and like just jump and attach myself to his air tank, so he can't reach me. And he starts freaking out. I'm just like riding him like a bull. He can't. He's like, "What the fuck? Get off my back!" And I'm just hanging on. I'm just saying shit, and only everybody on top can hear me because they're laughing their ass off, and I'm talking like a chipmunk.
I got you, motherfucker.
Yeah, I got you, bitch. And just riding his ass, and just stuff like that. That I like backflip off of him or some shit. And I was just being.
I imagine it's gotta feel like that's gotta feel as close as like what it would feel like to do like a moonwalk kind of thing.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
it does. I would do like flag pulls on the side of the ropes, and like literally when I would dive, so 70 to 125 or whatever the fuck it was, 130, I'd be going down like super fast, and then I would just like right as the platform started to show up, I'd like grab the chain and just pull myself in, and I'd just like Billy slide into the next platform.
That's fucking cool.
But I got to the bottom.
I don't want to get into diving to feel that, but I also kind of want to get into diving to feel that. Fun. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard because the way Bubba described it was the same way. It was like he said it was like fucking flying. Like you feel like you're gonna hit like you're gonna like land on the ground and do like the Superman punch into the ground kind of thing. It's like that's how it feels.
I don't know. Like I said, it was just one of those things. It's just like a weird.
You'll never experience that outside of.
It's just a crazy. Yeah. It's just a crazy thing. Like everything, like so when you get to dive school, my first 2-3 weeks there, it's just onboarding stuff. They give you all your shit. blah blah blah, and then they give you classic medical classes. You have to find all these ways to help, like save people, blah 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 blah. What to recognize for different decompression sicknesses and stuff like that, and then what wildlife can hurt you and how everything in the water can hurt you and kill you.
You're like, bro, I got jiu-jitsu. Fuck that alligator.
So it's like, here's all the ways that animals can kill you. Now here's all the ways that atmospheres can kill you.
What's the scariest animal they talked about there for you?
Maybe the what are they called? It's like that giant jellyfish with the fucking mohawk on it. War something. I don't know. They look like an epic ass jellyfish, but they can have tentacle, like their tentacles or whatever the hell their little
whatever those
electrocuting thingies are.
Yeah.
Can go like a mile long.
Jesus.
And
those are saltwater.
yep. And if they touch your neck or something in your skin, they can kill you. You can't even see it.
Jesus. So, dark death.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't even know I was dying. And
Yeah,
then I'm
you just
dead.
get shocked.
What about eels? Because eels freak me the fuck out.
Yeah, but you have gloves and shit on too. Like if an
Yeah.
eel got a hold of my arm, it'd be like a lot of stuff to go through.
The problem with eels that we experienced when we were when they were diving in the Keys was like if you like went after a lobster, like eels will fucking chase you. Like they'll go after you. And no, bro, they're fucking. Have you seen like an eel's teeth, bro?
Yeah, they're giant. Yeah, they have I think they have a flesh-eating bacteria in their bite.
They're fucking creepy looking.
I think they have something like that. I might be wrong, but it's something like them and Komodo dragons have this like bacteria in their mouth.
Yeah. But they're scary as fuck, and they're really strong. Cause like what they'll do, especially in like where we were at in the Keys, there's like a lot of rock formations and shit. Cause that's where like all the lobster that we were going after live. And so you're.
Are they the electric eels? Like they shock your ass?
I think so. They're green. So I don't. Or moray. I don't fucking honestly don't know.
Morays are big.
I don't know. I think they're electric eels then, I guess. I honestly don't know. You'd have to ask one of the, like, Bubba would probably know. But I remember, like, they're like, don't stick your fucking hand in any holes. Like, because it could be a lobster, it could be a fucking eel. And, that's what they give you that metal stick for. It's a tickle stick. Just shove it
down the hole.
Literally.
Whatever.
Literally. Yeah,
Whoever's down there's going to be mad.
yeah, literally. So you'd, like, lobster have those two fucking long antennae. And so you would see them sticking out of the rock, and you're like, oh, I know there's a fucking lobster in there. Otherwise, if you saw a hole with nothing in it, you're like, I'm not gonna fuck with this. There's nothing there for me. You would know if a lobster's there because it's gonna be. They like to sit at the edge of a rock formation so you can't see them, and then something like touches one of their antennas, and they're like, bitch, and they like snag it. At least that's what I understand of them. And one of the guys we were with was like going deep inside of holes and like being dumb as fuck and reaching his entire arm in there to try and catch lobster. But lobster and eels will like share a rock formation, and dude got bit on his finger, and luckily it was a small eel. But like what they were telling me is that like big eels, they'll wrap themselves around like a post inside that rock formation, and there's literally like stories that they have, like not they, but like people have of like having to cut their arm off to like get to the surface because that eel will not let go. And you can't even see the eel. It just like grabs a hold of them. And then like not only that, they're using respirators, so they can't like talk to each other. So like if you're diving by yourself or like your buddies don't know where you are, and like not only that, you have to worry about running out of air. So a lot of people will drown because of it. And or if their buddy does find them, like there's been stories of that they were telling us about people, like they notice their buddy, like, okay, he's probably getting close to out of air, like where the fuck is he at? And you see like maybe some like splashing if it's shallow enough. If not, like they'll like go out and try and find him or whatever. And if they do, if they are lucky enough to like find him or notice, or maybe they're not far enough away where they notice it, then they'll fucking they'll just basically surface and then go down, give the guy air, and just keep doing that until they figure out a way to get him out of there. But this,
I mean, that would depend on the depth too, because you can't just like go down and go up and go down and go up.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's stories out there that are fucking crazy about that. But there's probably dudes walking around without arms right now because they stuck their hand in the hole.
That is the number one killer of scuba divers is entrapment. That's the number one way to die.
That's why you're not going to get into spelunking.
Entrapment's the number one way to kill scuba, and then blow-ups are the number one ways to kill, or the number one deaths for commercial divers. Something
What it say?
yanking you up.
Yanking you up.
Mm-hmm. So if you go up. It doesn't, like, everything's so small. Like it's relatively short distance to kill you underwater of like changing. You embolize and die. So you get like,
what does embolize mean?
A bubble. It goes. There's two different versions of it. There's cerebral arterial gas embolism, CAGE, and arterial gas embolism, AGE. And one AGE is when it gets stuck in your heart, and CAGE is when it gets stuck in your brain. And CAGE, not many people survive. We had one dive instructor that survived it. He's like 1 out of 2 people in the United States that survived it, and he's like fucked up. Like he's not the same person.
Yeah. It's like surviving the fucking electrical chair.
Yeah, he's like walks all weird and shit.
Yeah.
But he's your first dive instructor you get to.
Wait, so that if you get yanked up too quick, that's similar to like you can't just go into a decompression chamber, but it's the same kind of thing, right? You're oxygen.
You're down there too long. Like it's instant death, and
because the oxygen just
blood flows can't go to your brain, and then
or heart.
Yeah. So arterial is obviously it embolizes and gets stuck in an artery.
Basically giving you a stroke.
Yeah.
That one's probably more likely to survive.
Heart attack. And then the other one's, strokes you out. And then, yeah. But you're good luck getting that person up within 6 minutes because
they're in the water.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what they like. If they have manta rays or something in the water, you can't be in the water.
Why manta rays?
Anything big enough, because they touch the umbilical that is attached to your air supply. They'll touch it.
Because you don't have a tank on your back because you're down there for so long.
You do have a tank on your back. It's just extra, and that tank's only good for 4 or 6 minutes. I forget.
Okay, and that's just in case
6 minutes. Yeah.
Is that just in case you get cut off from an air supply? Yep. It's like a backup chute.
Yeah, I've actually used that before. Yeah, you can talk. Yeah,
yeah, we're going to get there. Yeah, don't forget that one.
Yeah, so
manta rays, because I was like, manta rays aren't scary. I'm like, that kind of makes sense. They're fucking big enough.
They're big enough, and they'll take off.
Yeah,
they take off.
They're fast as fuck, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll take you with them.
Fast as fuck, boy.
And they take you with them. You go up, and then you just and you're dead.
And you're like, wow, I was at 50 feet. Now I'm fucked.
Well, yeah, no, it's more like I was at 100 feet. Now I'm at 50 feet.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so first few weeks of dive school, they give you all your shit. They teach you what's going to kill you, how you're going to die from atmosphere.
Yeah, we got off on a way tangent on that one. My bad.
And then then they tell you the next week, oh yeah, you're going to get your first experience in the water, and you're like, which is in a pool, and so
like a 8 foot deep.
Yeah. No, 10.
Oh.
Yeah, 10.
Wow.
10, 15.
Like getting crazy over there, huh?
Getting a little wild the first time. So we have to put our helmet on, the Gorski helmet. It's a gigantic silver, very close to the Mark V looking thing. Like it's like very Scooby-Doo looking, where it's like this little port. It's just super shiny, really
What does that have to do with Scooby-Doo?
The Mark Vs have the little ports in the holes, like Scooby-Doo.
Are you talking about more
there's a bad guy in Scooby-Doo that was
I'm thinking SpongeBob, like the old school.
I guess you could do that. Right. I guess I'm showing
You're
my
different generation. SpongeBob came out when you were a kid still.
Yeah, that's true, but I guess different generation. Yeah. But
I did watch Scooby-Doo too.
Yeah, so but I just remember the glowing dude that had the
yeah.
Yeah, so we get in this thing, and I volunteer first. Like, who wants to go first? And everybody's just like,
everyone's scared.
And I was like, fuck it, I'll go. Yeah. And the briefing that I got,
because you're like out of the Marines, you're just like, fuck it. This is can't be that bad.
A lot of people there are post-military. Like it's
really?
Yeah, it's very like it's kind of ran militant, and it just feels very military. I don't know. There's like reveille.
There's not like
you have to raise a flag every day and every morning. So there's colors.
It's not like fucking like somebody just like left a bank and like started. Oh yeah, just thinking about doing that. It's a lot of post-military dudes. That makes sense.
And
because I was wondering like where do they get their fucking people from?
They're all either once upon a divers or they used to be Marine or Navy divers. A lot of them are Navy divers or EOD guys.
What's EOD?
What is it? EOD, explosive ordnance disposal.
Can you explain what that means?
The guys that disarm bombs, basically underwater.
Okay. People put bombs underwater? Oh, for fucking
like
submarines and shit. Yeah.
Any kind of demolition, really. But they don't only just do the military ones. The EOD guys in the Navy don't just do underwater; they do surface too.
Okay.
Mostly, I mean, I imagine most of the explosives nowadays are on the ground.
Yeah.
But so they're like, all right, you're gonna get in the water first. Put your helmet on. And he's like, this is, what do you say? This is when you're. He's like, this is when this knob is for when your helmet's filling with water, and this one's for if you're gonna die. And I'm like, that's the description I got from before I got in the water by the guy the dude that survived.
This one's for if water's in your water.
This one's for if your helmet fills up with water, and this one's for if you're getting ready to die. And I'm like, how do I know that? Like, when do I know that part? And
that's important to know.
Yeah, can I get some
this is a 10-foot pool,
cliff notes on when that may be occurring? Can I get ahead of that? And so I put the helmet on, and you lock yourself in, which is just sketchy. You're just locking this cage around your head.
Is it the one that sits on your shoulders too?
No, it's just on your head.
Just
all
on
the
the
head.
Okay.
And
because you know what I'm talking about, right? The ones that go over your shoulders and shit too.
Yeah, that's old.
That's very old,
yeah.
but
because they were so heavy that your neck probably couldn't handle it by itself.
Yeah.
So I can't really breathe in this thing. I'm like, I can't really breathe. And he's like trying to tell me shit, and I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm like yelling to him, I can't breathe. And I put my fingers in the little neck thing so I can breathe.
Yeah.
And then they turn the air on, and it's like super loud. It sounds like I'm in a fucking storm. Like, it's just, the wind is so loud, air is so loud blowing into the helmet. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And he's trying to tell me things, and I don't know what he's saying. And he's short-tempered as fuck, so he started yelling at me, get in the pointing, get in the fucking pool. And I'm like, all right. And so we started walking in this loud-ass helmet from the 5-foot, 4-foot water, and then it drops off into the 10. And I go underwater, and it's just chaotic bubbles just fucking everywhere. And it's and
yeah.
I can barely breathe because it's like sticking your head out a window in the fucking highway. So it's like I couldn't inhale. I didn't have to inhale. The air was focused around my mouth, so it would just blow into my face, and it would fill my lungs up. And when you just have to exhale, it's a weird feeling.
Because you're forcing an exhale.
Yeah, it's like you're like,
yeah.
It's very uncomfortable. And I was like, I have to do this for 90 minutes. So I was like, after I kind of got the rhythm down, it was super loud, and this force of air in my lungs, and then I exhaled it back out, and I was like, well, this is
on every exhale. Did you get bubbles and stuff too?
There's bubbles constantly. There's never bubbles. It was just I couldn't see. There's so many bubbles.
What the fuck is the point of this mask?
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing right now?
How are you supposed to do shit with
what
this?
is happening? And I'm like, I guess I gotta do this for 90 minutes now, and so I'm trying to calm.
Which 90 minutes is a fucking long period of time. People think 90 minutes are yeah, I listen to podcasts, 4 hours long. It's yeah, but you do it in spurts. Imagine sitting down 90 minutes underwater.
Around, yeah. So I was.
That's a fucking long ass time.
And I was just chilling, and I was just breathe. Try to find a way to make this less uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, but just work through it. Work. And then
that's probably part of the thing they used to get you your water confidence.
Yeah, maybe, but the guy started
here's really uncomfortable.
Well, no, the next thing he started doing, he started pulling me up to the surface, and I was moving because he has control of my it's attached to my hip. He's pulling me back up, and because it's a helmet with an umbilical attached to the helmet that goes down across your back and it attaches to your hip. So if somebody yanks on it, it yanks on your hip and not your fucking head.
Yeah. But it pulls you across the body.
No, it pulls you from your hip.
Pulls just
yeah, so you're just going up at an angle. They lower you in the water, you're just at an angle lowering.
I imagine that's what it feels like to be a kid on a leash.
Yeah. Shout out to Saturday.
Right, literally. We were talking about it yesterday.
But you just get that for you really quick.
No, don't worry. Andrew spilled a little bit of beer on the table. It's cool. I put a nice finish on this table when I built it. So.
Okay, cool. Was it soak?
I don't fucking know. Came from Home Depot.
That makes sense. But
sheesh.
Well, we were going to. So he pulled me back up, and he turned the fucking. So what happened is the dial of breath. That's what I think it's called, dial of breath. The dial of breath was stuck open, so it's just blowing air constantly through. It's not supposed to.
Oh, this guy fucking tried to kill you.
And then pressurizing knob, whatever it was called, was stuck all the way open too. So he turned that down, and
how far into this is this?
Just almost immediately. Like I don't know. I'm just kind of like I'm more focused on my breathing right now. So I don't even know.
Okay.
And I just chaotic bubbles.
I didn't know if this is the end of 90 minutes.
No. He pulls me back up, turns that off, fixes my dial of breath, and he's like, "That better?" And it just got quiet, and I started breathing like Darth Vader.
We're like, oh shit, this is supposed to be normal.
Yeah, and we got quiet. I started breathing like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He's like, "That better?" And I was like, "Good." And he's like, "Bye, Felicia," and pushed me back into the pool. And then
What a dick. Just like, you know, like the first part of it where you're just like, you're like learning to suffer.
Yeah, so then while I'm down there,
I wonder if he did that on purpose. Do you think he did it on purpose?
no, I think he was just trying to like that, like I don't know, just trying to a little bit of flexing in the first day. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like he did it on purpose.
No, I just think it was a neglection thing. I don't think it was a purposeful. Like he's like, because it's like, oh man, this guy's gonna probably asphyxiate down there off of air. Like you're gonna OD on air down there, and
in a fucking swimming pool.
Yeah. So when I was
at the YMCA, bro.
So I was down there, and I was like, well, then I'm down there now with it super quiet. I'm like okay.
It's like eerie quiet.
It's quiet now, and I'm like breathing normal. But every time, what it happens is the dial of breath, you can adjust it to your breathing, your pull, like how you inhale. So as you inhale, you pull, and it sends this little something in there, like triggers it and realizes, probably a valve or something, that realizes you're trying to inhale, and it shoots air at you, and then you inhale. And you're like,
so that wasn't adjusted. It was just constantly pumping air into you.
And so I was like, but it's still kind of hard to breathe. You had to mouth breathe. You couldn't breathe through your nose. Like you could, if you breathe through your nose, it was like just to get like air to shoot. So you had to breathe through your mouth the entire time.
Which you have to do in regular diving, anyways, like with respirators.
But you could tune those things to just breathe through your nose, which I did do eventually when I got good at it. But yeah, after he fixed the dial of breath, I was like, okay, cool. Now we're good. This isn't so bad. And then I just started doing kung fu with my friends underwater.
Was it just you under the pool for 90 minutes?
They started putting like 2 to 3, or I think it was 4 of us down there.
You were just the first one.
I was just the first one. And then they all got the real briefing on what just happened. Like, oh, that's because his dial of breath and his, helmet pressurizer knob, whatever the fuck it's called, was stuck open. Now, don't do that.
Yeah.
Check it. And I was like, we didn't even get briefings on this crap. We just were told what these things kind of do. And you told me, if you're dying, push this one. If your helmet fills with water, push this one.
Get in the water, bitch.
Yeah, and then get in the water. Yeah. And so, yeah, they were all like, dude, that was wild. Like afterwards, like, wow, they just see like the surface just going ape shit with white bubbles.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my first.
Because it was over oxygenating you. Yeah.
Yeah, and so everybody was like freaking out. They're like, I don't want to go next. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, and then you were fine. And then you're doing kung fu underwater.
Yeah, my buddy Clark was the guy that went next. I was like, I'll go first, and then he was second. And he's like, I didn't want to get in after you. I saw you go in. I was like, fuck that noise.
Yeah.
But before that even happened though, we had to start water PT. And water PT, the first fucking day, they're like, put all of your shit on, minus the helmet. So it's dive suit or wetsuits, weight belt, tank, fins, gloves, everything. And our dumbasses, we weren't, well, not even dumb because we didn't know this, but we put our weight belts on first. Then we put our wetsuits and stuff on, weight belts on, boots on. Then you put your tank on, and your tank went over your weight belt. So
and for people that don't know, like weight belts typically have like a quick release kind of thing on it, so you can drop it if you need to. Mm-hmm. So if your tank's over that, it kind of fucking does just drop. Okay.
Dropping.
See, I know things sometimes.
Yeah, so there you go. So you caught the gist of this, the little peak of the story. So when like, all right, everybody jump in the water now, and we're like, okay, I don't know how deep this is. Nobody knows how deep this is. It's fucking.
This is another different pool.
It's so no. This is the open. This is the river.
Okay.
Yeah. Before we do the tank stuff,
this is underwater PT.
Yeah, this is water PT, not underwater PT. We had to swim in the river.
Okay.
With fins. And so, but first this is our day one, so they're like, oh, just swim to the barge and back, which is like 50 feet maybe, 50 yards maybe. Not very far.
No, it's easy.
And
easy money.
Me and Clark jump in, and you just go straight down. Like, jump in, thinking you're going to use your fins to kick you back up. You just to the bottom. My fins bent as they hit the bottom of the river, and I kicked myself back to the surface. And
How deep are we talking here?
Fuck if I know. Like maybe 10 feet as well.
Okay. I'm thinking 50.
Startling.
Yeah, it's startling.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're like, I'm sinking
You're
very
like-
fast. And they're
Yeah,
like, your wetsuits are pretty buoyant. You're going to be fine. And so you're like, me and Clark are
fucking
probably
ground.
some of the best in shape dudes there.
Which sucks for water, for people that don't know.
Yeah, and we're like kicking so hard, exhaustingly hard. Like there's no way we're swimming this. Like they go to your back, and we're like swimming to our back. We're like fuck, and your back's because the tank's kind of buoyant.
Heavy. Oh, yeah, it helps keep you up.
Yeah, so we're like kicking hard as fuck, and they're like, everybody get the fuck out, and we're like, climb. We had to help each other out, and they're like drop your fucking weight vests or weight belts, and everybody tried to drop their weight belts, and we couldn't because there was all over things.
Yeah,
And
tank was over it.
Yeah, it was the guy, the instructor that made us do that was, he got fired later on. He was kind of sketchy because he was like, he claimed to be a Navy SEAL or some shit, and like I don't know.
He
just
lied on his resume.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff was like not true. One of my I don't know, peers, colleagues, whatever you want to fucking call them, did their first job in the diving community, and he was there too, and he like freaked out underwater apparently.
The instructor?
Yeah, the guy that was teaching us how to, like, we did this whole time frame with him as an instructor. We thought he was a cool instructor, but then come to find out, like when we got to the real world, like he freaked out and had to get pulled from the water because he was he was going ape shit and like freaking the fuck out. It's like,
Okay.
have you ever dove before? Like,
Wow.
how are you teaching us this shit? He was teaching us dive tables, and which is like how to dive your plan your dive. Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? And then yeah, that was weird, but before that, but he is the guy that has to do this PT shit and told us to put all our stuff on, and then like if you feel like you're sinking and you can't swim, like drop your weight vest. It's like, well, one, you're dropping it in the river, and good luck finding that.
Yeah.
And two, nobody told us how to put this shit on. We just put it on what we thought was right, and nobody could drop their weight, and so we all sank to the bottom. Well, most of us did. Everybody else kind of just jumped on the edge, and like, we can't swim. And then me and Clark are like, we can barely either.
We got it, Cap. Yeah.
We ended up getting to the barge and back, but we had to do laps though. We did one lap to the barge and back, and I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? This is gonna be rough. And but we were the one of like maybe 3 or 4 people that did it.
That you did one lap.
That we just touched the barge and came back, and then they made us kick our vests, our weight thing off, and then we swam it. It was easy as fuck. But before that, it was just
As you
like,
said, you're doing 45-pound weight vest?
yeah,
Wow.
plus whatever gear you had on.
Or,
So
is it a belt or a vest?
a belt.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was just very stupid. And the school, I think it might be shut down now because 2 people died.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I think 2 or 3 people died at the school.
While you were there?
No, I had been graduated.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they had the VA. If it is still up, I know that the GI Bill doesn't pay for it anymore. The VA
Oh, you went on a GI Bill?
Yeah, the VA is like, no.
You're not going to
Listen,
kill our guys.
Yeah, we already fucked you guys up enough on the way out of here. We can't let you go, go die on our dollar.
Yeah. That's funny. Now, so one of my water stories is just me being cheap as fuck. So we went to Rainbow River once, like
Yeah,
those,
been there.
you just float down.
I scuba over there, yeah.
Yeah. So we went to Rainbow River once, and we parked, and you park pretty far away,
Yeah.
and you basically go with what you're going to go with on the water.
Mm-hmm.
And we had read on their website that like a tube was like, I want to say $20 a person or something like that, or $10 a person or something. And so we took the exact amount of money to get 2 tubes from what we saw online. We get there, and I'm like barefoot in like a bathing suit with nothing else. And they were like, oh yeah. And and this is like it was like right when like all the acorns and shit fall. So like the walk out there's barefoot on rocks and acorns. And I'm like, fucking my feet are like destroyed by the time I get there.
Gotta want it, bro.
Literally. And I get there, and they're like, oh yeah, tubes are $40 per. And I was like, so you mean to tell me we only brought $40? We're only getting 1 tube. And my wife was like, she said, just go back to the car. We got more money in the car. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not walking that again. She's like, you're going to go on a tube, or you're going to swim for 3 hours straight in the cold water just so you don't have to walk back there. I was like, you fucking damn right I'm going to. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
I'm bear crawling, bro.
Well, dude, I like, worst come to worst, like, I've swum my entire life. We grew up with a swimming pool. Like, I know how to float, and it moves you. The river moves you. I just fucking float. And sure as shit, I swam the entire 3 hours. But the problem that I fucked up with, and that's why this is leading to a question, but the problem that I fucked up with was I'd only had black coffee, and we got there like 10 a.m. So we finished at like 1, and at the end of so when you're freezing cold water, and I'm hella dehydrated.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to the end of it, my calves were cramping like they were locking up like they've never locked up before. And at that point I was running and shit too, so like my calves were at like their peak strength. And still, like, I was fucking like, ha, 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 and, like, fucking locking up and shit. And so my question to you is, what do you do for 8 hours underwater when you're in the dark? Like, how do you, like, I mean, are you drinking the water down there?
No. There's actually a thing, like, you have to be hydrated before you dive, and they will pull you if you don't piss your wetsuit, like, every hour or something like that, or every 30, something like, it's like every hour. If you don't urinate, you get pulled because you're just dehydrated. So like everything underwater is extreme. Like everything's like amplified by 4. So you burn calories 4 times as fast. Everything's 4 times harder. Sound travels 4 times faster. All kinds of shit. Shock waves. If there's an explosion underwater, like it travels 4 times faster than it would on surface.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And yeah. So
you were well hydrated when you went under there for 8 hours,
yeah,
and you didn't come up for 8 hours straight.
Yeah, I was
right?
starving. You kind of don't think about it when you're down there, but like, yeah, you're fucking hungry as shit. But you eat a lot, swim a lot.
Bro, what were I imagine like your food intake when you were in dive school doing shit like that was probably like a fucking fat dude's best like wet dream. Like what Colton was doing when he was like dirty bulking, where he'd like go to Sonic and buy fucking $60 for the
food
Sonic.
they gave you was like in the chow hall was pretty like pretty thick too. Like I don't know, it just felt like dive school was just like a I don't know, it just felt very college-y for me, like, because you had your little dorms. We got fucked up often, if not the weekdays. You didn't want to drink alcohol during the week because you could get dehydrated and get bent easier.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to sit in the fucking hyperbaric chambers for long.
Yeah, because you have to sit in there for a while, don't you?
It's just boring.
Yeah.
And
basically people just sleep in there, right?
yeah. Well, you can't fall asleep because you have to switch off and on off oxygen.
No.
Like, all right, breathe from this thing.
Did you ever have to go in one?
No. Yes, we had to do the end of our thing. We had to do what's called surface decompression divings, or SUR DO2 dives, where you had to like a SUR DO2 dive is really done when your bottom time doesn't. You're staying down there to a time where it doesn't add up. The decompression stops. So you'll realize you'll do a SUR DO2 dive when if there's like a dive stop that says, oh, you're going to spend 10 feet, you're going to spend an hour at 10 feet of water. Like, no. Because that long in the water, because the whole point of it is to get the diver out of water. The most dangerous part of diving is when you're in the water. So what they try to do is mitigate extra time being in the water. So why would we spend an hour at 10 feet when other things could go wrong, when we could just take you from, I think it was 40 feet or 60 feet, 40 or 60 feet. They tell you you'll ascend at a rate 1 minute or 10 feet faster than you would normally. So it'd be, I think it's like 40 feet a minute or 30 feet a minute.
So we're going up at a faster pace than you would normally go
up at a 40 feet a minute.
Instead of 60 feet per minute.
Yeah, no, instead of 30. Yeah, 30, so you're going up. So you could just skip that 10-minute thing and get you to a surface, so you can decompress in a safety of a tube rather than decompress in the
live world.
Yeah, variable water.
Yeah. So you're in like a pressurized tube.
Mm-hmm. So they blow you back down. So maybe it's 60. It's 60 feet, and you're ascending at a rate of 1 minute, 40 feet a minute. They hang you, and then they put you. You get to the surface. People are ready to start stripping you. You get stripped down all the way down to your fucking underwear. Your dry clothes and towel and all that shit are in the tube with you, already set up in the tube.
The tube being the decompression chamber.
Decompression chamber, and then you get up there. You
So they
take,
purposely do that to you, so you know what it feels like.
Well, you're really, because you're on a clock right now. Because now, if you exceed a minute or two or something, you'll get bent.
And how does that feel?
Painful.
Just everything hurts.
Yeah, just like or that, or you could it's not immobilizing is pretty instantaneous. You get bent though, and that could be a number of things. And so, fuck that. We get in the tube, they blow you back down to 60 feet, and then they start the decompression.
So it's just basically like a room smaller than this.
It's like a closet.
Yeah,
But it's like think of a horizontal closet.
Yeah, and you just basically like a fucking tanning bed almost.
Bigger.
But like that's what I'm saying, but like a little bit bigger. And then you're basically just sitting in there, and it just pressurizes to what the water would be.
Mm-hmm. At that depth, and they slowly decompress you inside that.
Since you didn't do it underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So you can spend 25 minutes in there or whatever.
No, one time I've seen that in movies before. They made it like a fucking like bedroom size thing. That's why I was asking.
Hospitals usually have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually.
That's crazy though. Why would a hospital? Like, I mean, thinking about most hospitals are far away from the water.
Because there's there is healing benefits to oxygen under pressure.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like you can pressurize people to certain depths. I know that guy here at USF, Dom D'Agostino. He is a scientist at USF, the Cancer Research Hospital, and I was listening to a podcast between him and I think it was Joe Rogan, or maybe it was just a video of him and somebody else. But he was talking about how he was basically working on something for astronauts and SEALs about the ketogenic diet's effect on epileptic oxygen-induced seizures at depth. And
what a weird fucking thing to
well, it's because we get to think if a ketogenic diet can extend bottom time,
really,
and stage off epileptic seizures.
Why is that? Just low carbs? Do carbs?
Yeah, it's because something that the ketones do. There's something that ketones do. They have a lot of like different abilities they can do. Like they have a really anti-inflammatory property. They have a.
Do you recommend the keto diet?
To my clients, not so much because it's not
sustainable.
It is if you can do it, but it's like really. It's like,
everything's that way.
I'm just getting you to the fucking gym. Like if I can get you to work out.
Yeah.
Getting you to work out
and stop
is
eating
one thing,
donuts.
but getting you to do one of the most like accountable holding diets there is in the fucking world. Like,
I feel like people don't stick well to restrictive diets, anyways.
No, and that's like ultimate like extreme lifestyle change. So
yeah,
but the benefits to it are really good. But if you could do a temporary keto diet. You can enhance that from like keto esters and shit like that, like temporary ketosis or temporary like deep ketosis. Could increase bottom time, but the point of all of this is he under pressure was doing something with cancerous cells, tumor. I think it was a tumor or something. It was cancerous cells at whatever pressure, at whatever depth he was at. So he was under X amount of pressure, and exposing those cells to pure oxygen caused the cancer cells to explode. And the regular cell, because I think it was a tumor because they didn't have mitochondria, and mitochondria uses oxygen to create like ATP and all that shit. And the mitochondria didn't exist in those cancer cells or something like that, so they would explode because they couldn't manage the oxygen. Versus regular cells that could handle the oxygen, so they were fine.
Huh.
So it was like a way. So he never published it or something at that time anyway.
So it's like almost like he could use that to cure cancer.
Yeah, like a way to, because it's not
get
like
rid of cancer cells.
Yeah, start like a treatment to continuously kill them off potentially. So
that's dope.
Pressurizing cell, like what under pressure, what things happen more. What can amplify things at pressure. At depth or under certain atmospheres. So hospitals have them.
Very nice. Because I didn't realize it would change healing properties, but that's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah, oxygen has a healing property in and of itself because there's like there's bars like that. They're called O3 bars or something where they add an extra.
You ever been to Colorado?
No.
So
I've been through it, but not to it. Well, I guess it's the same, but I was like,
You didn't stay.
yeah, I didn't hang out for long.
Yeah, so we went to Colorado to Breckenridge, which I think base elevation in the town of Breckenridge is just under 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
And I went there from sea level. We left Sunday morning, hungover from our wedding.
I forget what that altitude sickness is called, but it's a form of altitude sickness.
I felt fine. So okay,
Because I think I told this story last time on my mountain warfare training thing when we were in Coronado Bridgeport, and we had to ascend. We went to 10,500 feet elevation. We walked up that, and we had people fall out because of different altitude sicknesses.
I don't remember that story.
Oh,
but regardless, so the altitude there was just under 10,000 feet at the town, which is like, it was like 9,700, I believe. So we get there, and I flew there from Florida sea level. So like you get there, and like we landed in Denver, which Denver's like a mile high city, so it's 5,000 and some change, just under 6,000 feet. And then we drove to Breckenridge, which you're basically just driving up the whole time. We get to Breckenridge, and like I remember the Airbnb that we were staying at, it was like you go up like it was either 4 or 5 steps. And I remember like, and this is at the point where like I was running, and like, like my cardio was pretty fucking stout for a Floridian. For most people, they don't have good cardio anyways, but like I could run, and I fucking got to the top of 5 stairs. I was like, whew. I was like, God damn, why is my fucking heart rate yanked right now?
Yeah.
It's because I was breathing so much less oxygen. They have O2 bars there that you can go to as well. And I also like, I remember like when I got there, or not when I got there, but before I went on that trip, my dad was like, hey, don't drink like you can drink here if you drink. Like, he's like, 1 beer might fucking throw you under the table there because it's just going to hit you different.
Well, there's like antiviral properties to like high, like it can't, like viruses can't live in extreme oxygen environments, shit like that. Like O3 bars will do that, where it's just like another oxygen, added to oxygen to make it more. And they do stuff like that. They use it for treatments from fucking all kinds of shit.
Now I've heard that those O2 bars, like some of them, like they don't really do anything. Some of them do. I don't really know much about it.
Like it says O3.
O3. What's
O3
it?
bar.
Oh.
So it's more oxygen. It's oxygen cubed.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. We didn't go to any of those while we were there.
There's one in Fort Myers. I'm sorry, not Fort. Yeah, Fort Myers. Yeah, there's one there.
We went to when we went there, we just drank a bunch of water, and we went skiing the next day. Yeah, we got there on a Sunday. Went Monday. We went skiing, and like, so at skiing we were at like 11,000 feet, and I was just fucking chilling. But it was fun. I like skiing. You ever been skiing?
No, I've never been out. Hannah wants to take me really bad skiing. I say I want to snowboard. She's like, she calls me, you fucking hoodlum.
She's a douche, bro.
Yeah, you're a hoodlum, and I was like, what do you just like? I just picture her, like I said, like I told the last podcast about the Marine Corps listening to that fucking, rock and roll music, and then like the Army has their little like elevator music. Yeah, so Hannah's doing her little classical music while she's skiing, and I'm just like fucking Shoots the Thrill by AC/DC, just going down that mountain ridge.
It's have you ever skateboarded?
Yeah,
it's like skateboarding. It's so you know how on skateboarding,
like longboarding kind of, where you switch.
So I've never longboarded, but so in I forget how the instructor explained snowboarding to me. It was like when you skateboard, I think it's the majority of your weight is on your, like it's like 70% on your back foot and 30% on your front foot. And then that way you can stop, stuff like that. On snowboarding, it's the opposite. 70% on your front foot, 30% on your back foot. Your front foot's what does your steering and shit. So are you right-handed? Yeah, you're right-handed, left eye dominant. Yeah. So you're going to be left foot forward. Yeah. And one of the things they taught us is like you can not strap in your back foot because it doesn't really do much. And it's kind of like, especially when you go to like ski lifts and stuff like that, it's just, I don't like being attached to one board. Like it almost feels like those G.I. Joes that had like the little fucking like the wax was stuck or the plastic was between their legs and you would like choo. That's how it feels when you're on a fucking snowboard. But that shit's heavy as fuck. You do like a lot of like jumping with both your feet together, or you unstrap your back foot and you just like leave it unstrapped for a while unless you're going down a serious spot. But like I was going down like bunny slopes, and it's so hard to like. especially down bunny slopes. The one bunny slope that I was down that made me want to stop snowboarding, there was a lot of fucking kids there. And like at this point, I'm probably 240 pounds. And there's just fucking like 8-year-olds that are like 60 pounds.
Little girl just shoots fucking powder in your face. She's
And,
like, eat it, kid.
well, with a snowboard, so with skis, you can like cut angles with the the skis
She
to
said
like
it's
slow
easier
down.
to stop.
It is. It's easier to do moves, like to turn.
In her words, it's easier. It's easier to start skiing but harder to master. And snowboarding is harder to start, easier to master.
I never got a master of either of them, so I can't say for certain.
Get good at whatever.
Yeah, but with snowboarding, to slow down, you have to like turn sideways.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of like flipping back and forth. And when you're on like a really crowded slope, like there's a lot of kids everywhere. You're just worried about like killing someone's kid on accident. You know what I mean? Like, especially because you have this 80-pound thing like strapped to your feet, and it's just imagine like a really big heavy skateboard.
Bunch of little kids, move it. Just start knocking him out of the way.
Just fucking catch him with the side of the fucking snowboard.
Yeah, just Brian Urlacher, all of them. But after where was that with the?
Sorry, I got on a skiing thing. Skiing's fun though. You should try skiing too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Utah. Utah is where they're at. Her brother lives there.
What part of Utah? Yep. So we went to Utah as well. If you don't go to the right part of Utah, there's nothing there.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Like I've been through. Like when I went to
Dude, it's
Utah,
gorgeous.
Yeah, if the
Mormons hadn't taken over.
when I went to Utah, all I could think of was like the Speedy or the Roadrunner and the Coyote.
Yeah, because there's just fucking cliffs and shit everywhere.
Plateaus everywhere.
Bro, that's what I thought was super crazy.
And hills have eyes.
The hills have eyes for certain. So if you ever been to Arizona?
Yeah.
Arizona's like Utah, especially northern Arizona.
Yeah, Flagstaff and stuff.
Yeah, Flagstaff's dope as fuck.
Yeah,
Love Flagstaff.
That's fun.
Yeah, Flagstaff's awesome. That's where we stayed in Arizona. But on our way to Flagstaff from the middle of Utah, like especially once the dirt turns red, basically, and you still get that Utah like plateaus and stuff. I was like, bro, hills have vibes for sure.
Bro, we were
for
looking
sure.
at a laptop that had like our GPS on it, and it was like nuclear testing site. Like it was like to the left of us on the highway. It was just like you could see it like in the distance on the if you zoomed out on the thing. It was like
starts pressing a little bit further on the
site.
accelerator.
You're like, what
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
What the fuck? Yo, this is where Hills Has Eyes took place. Because these people are all fucking.
Pretty sure it was Nevada, but still, yeah.
Was it Nevada?
I think so.
Probably.
Because Nevada's huge and it's just Las Vegas and then dirt, like Las Vegas, Reno, and then dirt.
Yeah.
And Nevada's a big ass state.
I've been to Nevada. I drove to from California. Drove to Las Vegas, and that is just dark and expensive gas stations. I was like, dude, what?
Yeah, because nobody's out there.
Yeah, because they're like, you're not gonna find water for another 20 miles.
Bitch, you're either gonna have gas or not.
Yeah,
the fuck do you want?
You want this $6 water bottle or not? Give me the fucking water bottle.
And that was before inflation.
Yeah.
Okay, we got off on a major tangent. We were on dive school.
Where were we?
Before skiing, we went skiing real quick.
I forgot where we were at, but we were talking. I think we were talking about the jumping off into the swimming shit from the barge.
Yeah. God, that feels like fucking 45 minutes ago now.
Yeah, so that was the bar. We did that shit, and then after that, we did the that was like the day. That was before we did. I freaked out. Well, I didn't freak out, but that was before we did the little pool exercise thing. And you did the pool for I think a week. I think it was called pool week. And then you go into your first tank. There was tank week after that, which would be like a 20-foot, which was shittier because you're in a smaller circumferenced area at deeper depths. And you didn't do
Still
shit
4
there.
people? Or is it?
Yeah, you're just hanging out looking in the window. You felt like a fucking aquarium because there's a big ass window that people could look at you in. You just go up to the window and like say hi, and you're down there for 90 minutes, and you're just like, after the first time.
What do you think about when you're down there?
We were doing backflip competitions, and we got told to stop because the water could go in your helmet or something. I was like, "What? That's what this is for." Too good. So we were just like, I don't know. Me and my buddy Clark fought. Actually, funny story about Clark is he had this helmet on called the Descopot. Descopot, yeah. It was like that is like. It looks like it was a descendant of the Mark V. So like it was just that pot that sat on your head that filled up with air and just sat on your head. It was just like a fucking copper lid that just sat on your head. And
Very astronaut
had a
looking?
yes. It had like, no, worse than that. It looked like not a full circle. It's just like a fucking, I don't know. It reminded me of those Rolos, the Rolo candy.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that, just with a rounded top.
Oh. So it's like slanted on the edges?
Yeah.
But okay.
And it's like you look in the hole and you're looking in the window and you're like, and my buddy Clark is in there. And so that thing doesn't really, you can pressurize it and stuff a little bit, but like inside of it, I just see him like just like chin deep in water. Just like, he's just hanging out because he's like, I just want this to be over. And he's just hanging out. And his head's leaning back and the water's up to his lips. And he's just like leaning backwards like this. I'm like looking through his little portal into his little head in the little tank. And I was like, "You good, Clark?" And he's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm solid."
Are you guys talking to each other? Like you can hear each other?
I can put my head to his head. And
Okay.
talk. Something about, I don't know why you can do that, but if you put your heads next to each other.
Probably sound traveling or something.
You can see, and you like hand mushroom to him or whatever. Yeah. But I would just sit there and like, "You good, Clark, bro? You solid in there?" And he's just like,
because I know a lot of like regular scuba diving is like hand signals.
Yeah.
Did you guys do many hand signal stuff?
Yeah. Well, nah. Yes and no. Not really though, because it's more like pole signals from us to the tenders if your comms went out. Because you just needed to have simplistic.
What do you mean comms? You mean like the communications?
Yeah, you had radio that would go.
Okay,
up to
so
the
they
top.
could hear it, but the people underwater could not.
Sometimes we had three-way radios where you could hear all three, but
boring as fuck. 90 minutes.
Yeah, and so
I imagine it's like hunting, but like you can't just like look at the birds.
You're just looking at blue walls.
Yeah,
That's kind of insane asylum,
bro.
And you just look up and it's like 20 feet, and you just see people on the surface just walking
chilling.
around.
And you're just like,
yeah, I can say after the first time.
Imagine being a fucking like orca. I'm sorry, this is going off on another tangent, but like being like an orca and you're just like this fucking killing machine, and you're stuck in a fucking big bathtub.
Yeah, well, that's why I was like, this is cool for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. Imagine being a show animal at fucking SeaWorld, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Did you see the movie Blackfish?
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, this fucking. I mean, when you put it in perspective, those things travel fucking thousands of miles.
Yeah, and I was just.
And they're stuck in a fucking swimming pool.
I know. Meanwhile, I just wanted my phone.
Yeah. Just like, bro, I need to check Instagram, dude.
But yeah, it was just running up the walls. They gave us games to play down there a few times. They gave us like little puzzles to do, like with like screwdrivers and shit. And
like you're fucking doing like an escape room,
underwater daycare.
like an escape room or something like that.
At least you get to move on from somewhere. No, it's like an underwater daycare. It's like you guys are crawling around at the bottom, just like playing with shit.
It's like they give you one of those, like you ever go to like a doctor's office where they have that box that's got like the little metal wires all going different ways. You move the fucking thing, just drop one of those down there for you.
Well, at one point, me and Clark just started playing catch with one of the bolts underwater. Just throwing it. Here, dude.
Dudes could just play catch, dude.
Here, dude.
What
was shitty is it didn't go very far. So it was more like a toss.
Like anything though to have fun though.
Yeah, it was boring, and then it didn't get cool until you could go into the actual river, and then it was still, unless you had an objective, like it got to a point where it was no longer fun to just go underwater with the fucking helmet on. You're like, okay, this is it's no longer cool.
This is just another day of boring.
Yeah, we're just boring.
You're used to it at that point,
Yeah,
which is probably half the reason they do it.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, whatever. And then you get to do like different jobs and stuff, which is fun, like building this pipe thing and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, that's when it starts being like a puzzle kind of thing.
Yeah, doing it with the eyes closed. I got hypothermia too.
How's that feel? Cold?
You just get super used to being cold because you're super cold all the fucking time there, like just all the time. Just the most cold. Arguably the most cold I've ever been, because I would say
if you had hypothermia, I would say it's pretty fucking cold.
Well, because California, doing my little training in the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean is not very fun either. But yeah, underwater, I did get but you're just so used to shivering that when I stopped shivering, it was like, I don't know, it was weird. It was like quiet.
Yeah.
I was like, just like doing stuff and like shivering and like trying to screw this fucking bolt on, and I'm like screwing this bolt on, and then it like just stopped. And I was like,
you should still be moving right now.
And I could just hear myself breathe, and I was like, topside, this is diver one. Like, go ahead, diver one. I was like, how much time do I have left down here? Like, about 5 minutes. I was like, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up. And so I started like finishing what I was doing, and then they pulled me up. And when they pulled me up, I felt like I was walking on. I couldn't feel my feet. It just felt like I was walking on like stilts. And I was trying. Like
your leg felt like you shit for too long, and you like stood up.
No.
Oh.
It's like no foot, just
no foot,
just
not
tibia,
not
just,
static
just,
TV foot,
just tibia, just walking on the ground, like no balance. And so he was. They tenders usually hold you to walk, and I'm like holding his shoulders, like trying to walk. I'm like taking my helmet off. I started to shiver again. Yeah, but I was dizzy and shit.
This is all in Florida, right?
Yeah, North Florida, but
I mean, how's the water that cold?
it gets cold up there. It's pretty cold. It's 30.
Oh, because you're working during winter.
Well,
and shit,
I started in August, and then I started doing all that shit like through December and shit.
Okay, so it's fucking
Yeah.
cold. You're like 60, 50, 40 degree weather or water. I mean,
50 something probably.
yeah, which is very cold considering the what is skin temperature normally like 96 or 93 or something like that. It's in the 90s.
Yeah. So like, but either like when I was sitting there, I was like, took my helmet off. I'm like, you're good. I'm like, I'm good. I just like leaned against the table, and Clark was my diving partner at this time. And I was like leaning at the table because I was like dizzy. I was like just waiting for myself to start shivering more. And then he did the same. He's like sitting there and he's like with his hands in his head in his hands. And I was like, you good, bro? And he's like, yeah, I think I had hypothermia. I was like, yo. I was like, me too. I was like, did you stop shivering? I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm trying to wait for it to come back. And then our instructor came by. He's like, you guys good? Were you guys like, yeah, we're solid. Because I didn't want to go to the fucking medical and get a thermometer shoved up my ass to check to see if it was true.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, to check core temperature. Put a thermometer in your butt.
Fuck that.
In the Marine Corps, we call it the silver bullet.
I love how you said that like so casually, like you were like that was just a natural thing for you to respond with.
It's
That.
just like
Silver
if
bullet.
you fall out and get hyperthermia, you're gonna get.
Bitch, you better not get too cold.
Doc Skittles is gonna shove a thermometer up your ass. And
fuck.
to us, it sounded like this gigantic dildo, but
It's probably just a regular ass.
like it was funny, a hilarious moment in actually Bridgeport, the mountain warfare training. Is a corpsman was briefing us, and he was like, all right, you guys, it's easy to dehydrate out here. You can get hypothermia, even though it's cold as fuck. You can get hypothermia here still, and hypothermia. So like make sure you're drinking water still, blah, 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 blah. And then he like pulls out this thermometer. He's like, you all know what this is, don't you? And we're all like, fuck, I don't know, dude. Like a thermometer? Like, this is the silver bullet. And then we're all like, oh, that's what the silver bullet is? Oh my God. I could totally do that. Yeah, no, that's no problem. We're thinking it's like this this thing.
It's the gayest shit I've ever heard, bro.
We're thinking
I
it's
could
like
take that.
the way they
I'll definitely take
the
that
way
on my
they
ass.
sell it is like because it's a mouth thermometer that just goes in your ass.
Yeah.
But the way, but
isn't the thing like
it's
longer?
the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
The way that they would sell
Maybe
it.
they use it on the mouth on some people.
They
Same one.
Just shoot that thing out in the trash. All right, next one. Yo,
Andrew walks out, pulling his pants up. The next dude walks out. Like, all right, lift up your tongue. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we were thinking it was just like I don't know, like the back of the microphone.
Jesus Christ! You're fucking.
And you're like,
That's every dude though. Anytime any dude is ever like, oh, yeah, like wait, you're doing what? Like anytime they talk about a colonoscopy with a dude,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You're just like,
it's
oh
like for
no.
some reason it's some outlandishly sized thing. Like it doesn't even make sense.
You're like thinking that you're picturing like a hand like this.
Yeah,
Just
so that's what we all thought. Like when they went to Bridgeport, we're like, I don't fucking know what is that thing.
nobody wants a
We're like, it's a
suppository.
thermometer. We don't fucking know. And they're like, no, this is the silver bullet. And we're like, oh. Like as I said, the drill instructors made it sound like they were just like trying to fucking shove it. And, like they won't fit. And they're just like, they're just
"Oh,
elbow-
is that in the back of my mouth
they're like
right
just
now?"
punching it in because they won't fit.
Every dude.
Like, well, because you looked away when dudes were like getting it done to him. Like, oh my god, save his dignity. Like you're stepping.
Oh
over
shit! You
bodies.
would see. Oh shit!
Because
You'd be-
when you're doing hikes and shit, like 20K hikes or something.
oh, you're talking about the military now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people are falling off from heat casualty and shit, and you're just like stepping over them and moving out of the way.
From heat
Heat
gas,
exhaustion. Yeah, heat
Okay.
exhaustion. They're just like getting shoved thermometers in their asses, and you're just like moving. And you're like, oh my god, I can't do this. You just keep
Bro.
going. I'm like, I'm not gonna be that one.
Can you imagine some dude just falls out and they're like just pulling his pants down?
Yeah, they bend him over their ruck. They put him on top of their ruck and they just bend him over it, shimmy their shit down.
Dude, what dude wants
Bink.
that fucking job?
Corpsman.
Fuck, dude.
As they say, Doc Skittles, bro.
Bro, fuck that job, dude.
Yeah.
I I don't know. Never mind. I could just get fucking real nasty real quick and be like, listen, dudes do not take care of their ass. I'm just saying it from personal. That's a fucking jungle in of itself. You ready to get? Are you almost done?
Yeah, let's get another one.
All right, let's get another drink.
Somehow we're adults.
We were talking about the
Dive school. You were talking about Clark.
oh yeah, playing catch with the little
Bolt thing,
and
yeah.
doing little projects.
So I imagine you're like part of the way through dive school. So you started actually getting into projects. I think was the last part we talked about.
Started doing projects. We were doing like underwater cutting, where you took a fucking torch that burned at 10,000 degrees and cutting metal and shit.
You should be surrounded by boiling water.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude.
Well, it's just only in that area. Just like it burned quick.
Have you ever thought about a regular job?
I'm doing it now.
Bro, it's still not a regular job, bro. Like, have you ever worked at, I guess you did work at Home Depot.
Yeah. I didn't work for them. I just worked to like some company attached to them.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, I mean, before I joined the military. So before...
Like, that was a joke. I'm not really asking that question.
Like 18 was like when my first job was a gas station. I worked at
Can you imagine?
I worked.
I just can't imagine just some fucking yoke dude at a gas station.
Yeah, I was at a gas station. I managed
Marine veteran at a Circle K.
No, this was before that.
Oh, okay.
This is before I left the military. I just helped maintain a car wash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd help guide the dumbasses on the tracks, and then I'm like, nope, back up, you hit it. This means straight tires.
That is probably the job you thought of when you were like, what is my next thing? It's like, well, not that.
Yeah.
Not that again. That shit sucks.
Yeah, I did some normal jobs ish. Yeah,
I imagine your threshold for
I did 3 normal
craziness.
jobs. My 3 normal jobs. I had the flower job, the gas station job, my first job, and then the I think in between that flower job and leaving, I did I was a maintenance guy for the Lake St. Louis, so to help like manage the lakes and just I was like basically a handyman, just a bunch of different miscellaneous shit, like people that are in the neighborhood. But that was my normal jobs. That was it.
Yeah. Your threshold for crazy has to be pretty fucking high compared to other people.
Yeah. I guess it gives me like patience and tolerance for other shit, I guess. But
like I said, no wonder you're so fucking calm all the time.
Yeah, it's just with the dive school thing, I just already had that stuff going on for me, so it just kind of seemed like the next thing. Yeah, it was just anything that came toward me, I feel like I'd be able to handle. I feel like there was a situation. Oh, there was I was gonna say that I had to use my bailout bottle before
Yeah,
we were doing our 24-hour dive, 24-hour dive, where you had to have a dive operation going for 24 hours. And
okay, you didn't have to be underwater for 24.
Yeah, fucking wild. That'd be insane.
I was like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, but we were building, or had to put on, we were simulating building piles, which were things that go underneath the bridges. Remember I told you they had those piers underneath them? Yeah. Those piers are made of concrete, and then you had to pour this concrete in, and you had to put these jackets on the thing so that it was like, you put these jackets on this rebar skeleton, and then they poured concrete down it, and then, so we had to pretend to do that.
The little jacket things you're talking about, it's basically like a big blanket that holds concrete in, right?
No, this was like plastic, actual casting. It was like, it had like these barbs that stuck out of it, so you could screw them in and tighten them in there. But yeah, so we had to pretend to do that. And one time, I wasn't very deep though. I was like 20 feet and 25 feet maybe. And I was sitting there, then my air goes, like you can always tell when you're out of air because the neck dam that goes around your neck that attaches your helmet to your head is like made out of like the same shit wetsuits are. And it's just like you're breathing, and all of a sudden it goes.
You feel it like come up.
You get like one, after it sucks in, you get one more breath, and then you're out.
Oh shit.
So it's like out of here. So you're like, I feel that getting tighter. Like I can feel it start moving more, and I'm like,
But you get it, yeah.
And then it goes, and I'm like,
So but you should be on continuous oxygen or continuous air, yeah.
Yeah, and then so like I'm like diver on bailout, and I'm sitting there. I get no.
So
response.
you switch. So when the thing comes up, you go, oh, my airflow that I was supposed to have is gone.
Me, and I turn my fucking air on.
Which, how long does that last for?
Like 4 to 6 minutes. And so I'm sitting there, and I have like a timer underwater too, and I started it, And I'm like, diver on, bail out, and I get no response from topside. And I'm like,
Or they're beating off. Like, fuck off.
topside, diver one, diver on, bail out, and they're like, no response. And I'm like, sitting there waiting. So I'm about to start climbing this fucking pylon.
Yeah.
Because if I can get, because I'm not that deep, where I could just like exhale and just start climbing this.
Yeah.
Because I was
You don't have
waiting-
to go super slow.
Yeah, I was waiting for a minute, like 3.5, and I was in 30 seconds. I could feel like I could have cleared some ground, and I was just gonna use like a
Even
like
in
a
30
lumber-
seconds, you can just hold your breath.
Yeah,
go.
and I was just, and I could put my finger after I got to the surface. I could lean backwards with the hose linked around the pile, and just put my finger in the hole and just breathe off of that.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like,
How hard is it to take the helmet off by yourself? Like
Not-
if you
not
if you
challenging.
surfaced, you could have just dumped it.
No, because I'd have to like hold on and like untie it or unclip it with one hand, and then,
While
like,
you're
try
floating.
to pull it off my head. No, I wouldn't be floating. I'd be at this. Well, yeah, I could be kind of be floating. I'd probably stay. I would stay fairly buoyant because I've been sitting there. It's really easy to climb. Like you're weightless. Like you feel like
Yeah.
nothing. So, yeah, I probably would have taken the helmet off and just been like, "What bitches? You guys are not gonna turn this fucking air back on?" Like,
Yeah.
what? So I'm sitting there doing my project. I was like, because I was like doing something, and you get so used to them turning your air off and on all the time that you're just like diver on, bail out, diver off, bail out. You know. So I was like diver on, bail out. I was like continuing my project, whatever the fuck I was working on, tying whatever knot, and then I noticed they didn't respond, and I was like, diver on, diver one, this topside, this is diver one. No response, and I was like, topside, this is diver one, and they finally responded. And like, go ahead, diver one. I was like, and they sounded like they were far away. I was like, diver on, bail out, and they're like, they didn't say anything else, and I was like,
You guys in a
did you
fist
guys
fight
hear
up
the
there?
fuck? What's going on right now?
You guys in a fist-
Are we being invaded? Like, what's happening right now? Like, what's going on?
Are we
And-
being invaded right now?
And like I'm just sitting there, and then I stopped tying the knot. I finished tying the knot and whatever, and then like I'm just sitting there leaning underwater, like leaning against this like pier, just like sitting there, just like waiting to hear a response. And I'm like, I'm about to start climbing this. I already had my rope wrapped around it and planned it and everything. I was like, or my little umbilical wrapped around it, so I could climb it. And I was like, just kept looking at my watch, a little timer thing I had going, and I was like, got to 2.5 minutes or 2 and some change, and they responded. I said, diver, you're back on air. I was like, okay. So I turned my shit off. I was like, what the fuck was going on? Apparently, like they turned off. The instructor turned off the air in some place that they had not seen it before, so they were trying to find out where the air supply was turned on. And I guess he
Okay.
gave him a fucking class on how to do it after the fact. I'm like, bitches, the air is not on yet. Like, quit teaching. This is not a teaching moment right now. I'm underwater.
Now, okay, so you're in school when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, does the backup air, does it run off of the regular air? Like, does it fill it back up as when they
No, you're
turn
just
regular?
breathing off of it. No, it doesn't fill it back up.
Okay,
It's-
so
have to
once you've used 4 minutes of it,
yeah, you have to
like-
refill that bottle.
so had it shut off again, you would only have like 60 seconds worth of air. At 2 minutes and 45 seconds, you might have 6 minutes or 60 seconds.
Yeah, had it shut off again.
Yeah, a minute and 15
Yeah, but
seconds.
I wasn't there for that long. I was getting out.
Yeah.
I think
But I'm just saying, I was just curious, more
Yeah.
or less, for like if that shit happens. So that was your one experience with that, or did you have like another experience?
well, that the air being turned off was always a constant in dive school. Once they taught you how to do it, how to monitor, blah 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 blah. They constantly randomly try to turn your shit off to see
Well-
if you're paying attention.
What was the scariest moment you had underwater?
Probably being electrocuted when I was doing the dive thing. Where in the last podcast I talked about being shocked and then coming to surface and swimming and.
I don't remember the one about you getting shocked.
No, I didn't say that one. It was like when I was in Fort
Bro,
Lauderdale.
you said a lot of shit.
I know I did. I was in Fort Lauderdale. Maybe I didn't say that one. I was in Fort Lauderdale and I was pumping concrete into a. Maybe I just told you this story. Maybe it's not. It wasn't on the podcast, but pumping concrete into these like canal things that they would open to like lower the water. Like when it rained really hard or something, they'd open it and let the water go out to the ocean.
Yeah.
And apparently manatees would swim into them too, so they get stuck in them. And we basically took these gigantic fabrics that you would fill up with concrete, and they'd blow up like mattresses filled
Yeah,
with
you
concrete.
told me about those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what those were. So during that job, I was underwater, sitting on the little concrete thing while I was pumping, and I kept seeing the flashes underwater. Remember that? I thought it was my first.
You didn't tell me that.
I kept seeing flashes underwater. And my first thought was like static electricity. I'm like, there's no way static electricity is occurring underwater right now, because it's a fabric.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah. And I asked him, I was like, topside is diver 1. They're like, go ahead. And they're like, is there lightning up there? And they're like, nah, it must be fishes taking pictures of you or some shit. And they asked him like 2 or 3 different times if that was happening, and he gave me another excuse like, oh, the mermaid's fucking with you, or just dumb shit. And then
it's not something real reassuring when you're fucking underwater and just be like, I'm going fucking wild right now if this isn't me seeing this shit.
Yeah, it's like, and you're supposed to stop the dive operation if it's within 5 miles or something, or 10 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I felt something like shock the fuck out of me, like went up my ass and into my, actually up my back and into my like neck. And I yelled, I was like, motherfucker, and I came up and they're like, what's going on? I just got
How
fucking
deep were you
shocked.
down there?
Maybe like 25 feet.
Okay.
Maybe.
Fast enough where you could just
Yeah,
surface.
I just exhaled and started jumping.
Oh.
I started surfacing as fast
I'm
as I
assuming
could.
something shocks you in the ass.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's very hard to think. It's very hard to think. You didn't even have to think about the exhale. It just happened at that point.
yeah, I was just exhaling and going outside as fast as I could. And then I was in like swim shorts and like even in a wetsuit. Like it was just because you couldn't have that on because the concrete would get in there and burn you.
Yeah.
And so very loose fitting clothing. And then I got up to the surface and I was like,
what was it?
Lightning. It was when I got to the surface. It was a storm. It was like pissing rain, like Jurassic Park level rain, and then it was just.
So they lied to you?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck them hoes, bro.
And it was storming. The rain was crazy, and I got out of the water and I was like laying there on the edge of the dam. And it's just like so much water, so much rain. I just took the helmet off and laid it next to me. I was like, fuck.
Why would they risk your fucking life like that?
Yeah, that's why I quit that job.
That's fucking insane, bro. Because, I mean, I don't
We
know.
just wanted to get done.
Yeah, at what expense, though? Floating
That's
face
true.
down Andrew? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, so I quit after that.
That was what made you quit?
That job, yeah, that's my last company I worked for. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I didn't like trust the company that I was in, like the people that I was around a lot, like at the Inland Drive. Like I said, it was construction work a lot. So you think like, not to shit on construction workers, but like what type of people do you see a lot of, like, paid labor
Addicts,
type jobs?
yeah,
Yeah,
kinda.
addicts and shit. So
Something,
like
yeah.
a lot of people were just kind of like that. And
Well, you can make, I mean, to be fair,
it's like, I don't trust you with my life, but you can work an excavator like a motherfucker. It's like,
you can make a lot of money
Like, you
and
could
still be
probably
a
open
dirt.
up- yeah,
I
you
mean,
could-
it's
yeah,
a way
you-
for dirtbags to make a lot of money. Respectfully, like, not
Yeah.
saying that everyone that does it is a dirtbag, but I'm saying like to people who can't get a fucking
there's no
desk
background
job.
checks. There's no it's crazy.
Yeah, as long as you don't piss hot whenever
like
you
this one
get
dude-
injured on the job.
This
like,
one dude was like clearly a meth head, but he like could open a beer bottle with a fork or with the excavator though. He just like he
Yeah.
just, like, he had to like he had like to do the grading on the edges of that thing. He just like smooth it all out like to make it.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, but yeah, he was clearly on some shit. But like I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't trust the people that I was around with that. There was some like I liked one of my supervisors. He was a cool guy, but the people I worked with, I just didn't like the owner of the company. I didn't really care for too much. The supervisor that I had, that actually happened under supervision of, I liked him. He was a cool guy. And then the 2 kids I worked with were like a few classes below me in the dive school, and they weren't that great. The one kid was just like egotistical and annoying as fuck, but.
Tell the story. Do you mind telling that story?
Which one?
The one with the hat when you got your hat taken away.
Oh yeah, the one in dive school. This was not that kid, but
Oh, I just pictured it being that kid.
no, this kid was a chubby. Like this kid was in my class. That kid was a class before me. So we were in dive. When you go to deep dive, you're isolated from the school. You go from Jacksonville to Ocala,
Okay.
and when you're in Ocala, you're in deep dive, and it's like a summer camp for divers. Like every morning you dive. You had to do 3 or 4 deep ass dives, like that going down to the bottom at 140 feet or whatever, or 130, was routine. I actually got rolled back my first year trying to go there because when I got hypothermia, I got a head cold and I couldn't equalize. So You can't
Can you explain equalizing?
You can't Valsalva, so you can't get your ears to clear.
Yeah.
So, the pressure that builds up in your ears when you go under like 10 feet
It's
of
really
water,
painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can't clear, then you can't,
Yeah.
So I couldn't do that because I had cold because of that stupid hypothermia shit. And so I had to get rolled back, and I rolled back into that kid's class. And so
The class after you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were 2 weeks behind. So I rolled back into their class, and so I basically for that 2 weeks I went to California and hung out, and then I came back, and then so that kid just like, I don't know what his deal was. He fucking knew.
So at this point in life, you're doing jiu-jitsu regularly?
No, not jiu-jitsu. I just know jiu-jitsu at this point. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I'm not training anywhere. This is one of those stints in which I did not train jiu-jitsu at all.
Okay.
But
you had trained jiu-jitsu previously?
Yeah, in California. And then I got out, Marine Corps.
California for when you were in the Marines?
Yep.
Okay.
I trained there for like a year and some change, and then didn't do jiu-jitsu I did it once or twice in that 6-month time frame that I was home. Went to dive school. Did not do it at all, except for on people. I didn't train at a gym.
Same as when you were in the military.
I just fought people, and then
just for fun, because everyone's like, "Oh, you become a target when you know jiu-jitsu," and you tell people, and dudes who don't do jiu-jitsu, they get super egotistical.
Yeah,
and they're like,
dive
"Oh, bro,
school.
I just see bread, bro."
Me and Clark were just the people to fuck. Me and Clark were pretty popular in dive school just because we were jiu-jitsu or martial art dudes that
Did he do martial arts too?
Yeah, he's a boxer, and he did a little bit of jiu-jitsu. His girlfriend at the time now his wife is she's a blue belt, I think. But we were just me and him just always hung out with each other and just I don't know, everybody just wanted to hang out and fucking bullshit with us and try to fight and do stupid shit.
You guys are just the bros of the bunch. Everybody wants to hang out with a bro.
Yeah, and so
it's fun, bro.
Yeah, and so we would be beat people up and stuff, and then this kid, I don't know, we were at dive school or at deep dive, and he kept taking my hat away, and he wouldn't give it
To
back.
anybody who doesn't know Andrew constantly wears hats.
Yeah, always. Actually, no, it wasn't this one. It was a different one. And
At first it was funny, right?
Yeah, it was, and then he I forgot what he did. He tried to hit me or something, or try to slap me or something, and I slapped him in the face, and he got mad, and then tried to spear me, tackle me, and
shoulder.
Yeah, I grabbed his head and got an underhook and just hip tossed his ass to the ground, got full mount triangled his ass, and then when I was a full mount triangle, he's just bro, get the fuck off me, or I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. If you don't get the fuck off me, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. I was like, bro, calm the fuck down before I make you calm. It's you can either calm down yourself or you can wake up calm. How do you want to do it? How do you want to do this? It's dude, you get the fuck off me. If I let you go, if you come back at me, I'm gonna put you back here, and then you're just gonna wake up.
Yeah. Or I'll snap your fucking arm.
Yeah.
Which then
I'm just gonna fucking put you to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he did, and he
to
left. And
to people listening
off.
that might not know jiu-jitsu, that might be the most. That's a mounted triangle. Might be one of the most shitty looking positions to somebody who doesn't know jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? If you see somebody getting a triangle,
it's probably one of the most. It's probably one of the, especially in a street fight, one of the most fucked positions you're ever gonna be in.
It's embarrassing, A, and B, it's also you're fucking right next to somebody's crotch, and you're fucking unconscious, and your fucking arm's pinned.
Yeah, and you can't defend anything to your face.
Yeah.
Your face and your arm is isolated.
You're stuck between the ground and a dude's dick.
Yeah.
Literally.
If I wanted to, I could pull my dick out, and put it on your lip
forehead.
right now.
Yeah. It's fucking. What's crazy about it is you feel the most of your body is available to move, but you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You're
95% of your body is available.
From the chest down, you're I can move all of this, but to do nothing.
Yeah. Well, some people try to reach back, try to do flip their legs up and try to grab my waist to pull me off of them.
But even that's hard.
Yeah.
And it only makes it tighter.
Yeah, I lean forward and just keep walking in the circle.
It's just funny as fuck because you're I remember you telling me this story, and you're you look down at him and you're you are in no position to be making demands right now.
Yeah. What are you trying to tell me?
You cannot tell me. You need to fucking chill out before you go to bed.
Yeah. I could punch you, break your arm, choke you out, play with your lip, Close your eyes.
Jiu-Jitsu feels like a
Pick
superpower,
your
man.
nose, put it in your mouth. Like I do. I could bully you right now. Do you want to be bullied?
Yeah,
Besides what I'm doing right now.
I could gouge your eyes out and you wouldn't be able to stop me.
Yeah. Except for scream.
Yeah, dude,
But-
it's Jiu-Jitsu's crazy because it literally is like, what was that thing, the video you sent me, it's like less than 1% of people
Yeah.
grapple.
Do it,
So
yeah.
it's like, it's basically like you're a part of the Avengers. You know?
Yeah. I don't want to say it. Come Captain America.
Bro, that's how it feels though.
Justice
Because
League.
like,
Batman.
to somebody who's never done it before, like, because every dude, and I think you could probably speak to this too, before jiu-jitsu, like when you're just like a football player or whatever, like every dude, especially bigger dudes, the bigger they get, the more they're just like, yeah, I could probably like hold my own in a fight. Like, and I have that. I've had that. I've all of it. Like, I'm bigger than this dude. I'll beat his ass. But then, like, you know, your gym is a perfect example of that. Like, you go and you're like, oh, here's this little guy. I'm fitting to work this dude, and he just, you know, turns you into a pretzel. And you're just like, oh,
Especially
shit.
like Robbie would be such a pain in the ass to like fight in like a real life because he's got that like literally like mutation of whatever the fuck his hips are,
Bro.
where you
Yeah.
can just like put him over his head. Like he doesn't stretch, he doesn't do anything. He just can like do that,
Yeah.
and he just put his legs behind his head,
Super
without
flexible.
without even thinking about it. Like
Yeah.
I think he said he triangled Hannah because he crossed his feet. You know that like little like I don't know like. You see like Hindu people do it where they like cross their feet over their like it's like both
Over their
feet are-
knees?
yeah, over
On
their
top of
knees.
the knees, yeah.
And then he brings his knees to his chest, and then it's like, pass my guard. And you're like,
Bitch, what guard?
I'm not touching you.
You're a Rubik's Cube right
yeah,
now.
yeah. I'm not playing this game right now.
You're a Rubik's Cube, bro.
Like, he did that to me. Like, he choked Hannah out that way. He did it to me. And I was like, to me, this means that you don't have your legs to follow me. You just have to use your arms. So I'm going to walk behind you. So I started walking around him, and he, like, came out of the position. I was like, I was like, yeah, I'm not engaged with you in that shit. I was like, nope. I just stood up and started walking
That
around.
looks like a
him.
Chinese finger trap.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna
You gotta
I'm
push
gonna
further in to get out.
I'm gonna get north-south with your ass and then
Yeah.
start attacking your upper body.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. I've been doing this long enough.
Robbie, for anyone listening, is the black belt that Andrew trains with. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. I love jiu-jitsu. Can't tell enough people to do it. Everyone should try some kind of grappling martial
I
art.
think did I ever show you the video on my phone of the me hip tossing that dude in dive school? Like, the video doesn't really do it justice, but it shook the building. Like,
No shit.
everybody was wild.
Just tell me the story and show me the video afterwards.
It was like so Clark did this, and he was like talking shit for me to this kid.
Don't you hate that? You
Yeah.
probably hate that.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
hey,
like-
bro, stop fucking selling me
Well,
so
he's-
high, bro.
yeah, he's
Chill out,
like-
bro.
He's like, bro, my dog will beat you. My dude will tap you for being, what do you say, uncomfortable. He'll make you submit from being uncomfortable. And he's like, there's no way. He's like, I bet you $50 that he'll
Bro,
submit you.
chill, bro.
He could submit you with just being uncomfortable, bro. And I was like laughing with it and shit. And I'm just like just joking. Like, I'm just laughing and fucking off with it. And the kid's like, dude, there's like no way. And I was like, really? You don't think so? He's like, there's no way that I would tap out for like $50. There's no way I would just like give up because it sucked. And I was like, all right, I'll take that bet. You take that bet? I'll take that bet.
Damn good deal. That's a great meme.
You make that deal, I'll make that deal.
Damn good deal.
Yeah, so
That's a fucking funny ass
how
meme.
it started is we were like fucking off, and then
Just dudes being dudes.
yeah, doing dude things, and he was like, I got a hold of him, and then you hear Clark's commentating in the background. Oh, you fucked up. Now you fucked up. And then like,
You have fucked up now.
yeah, I got a fucking an underhook on him, and then stepped across, hip tossed the shit out of him, and he just went flying and just smashed in the ground. And this guy was probably 230, 240. Just boom, hit the ground and shook the whole fucking place. All the cubicles rattled. And then my buddy Marcus, who actually was in the class that I rolled back to, his fucking hype ass, he just was like, like running through the fucking hallways and shit. And then I ended up getting this kid on Neon Belly, and I just kept pressuring his on the Neon Belly, and then he hated that, and then he kept pushing on my knee, and then I put him in a full mount triangle, and then he kept trying to reach up and try to grab me with his legs, so I grabbed his legs and like held him under my arms, and kept folding him in half in this position.
Jeez.
And then
So you're bullying this kid.
Yeah,
Continue.
and then holding his legs, and then I like backed off and went back on knee on belly and grabbed the back of his head and pulled him. And then he
Oh, so you just from that.
yeah, just from a comfort, yeah.
Fuck.
Put knee on belly and his
Did you guys split the $50?
I think he ended up buying us like drinks or something. I forgot what it was. Yeah, like
Worth it.
like $50 worth of it though. But yeah, it was a funny video. But that was the kind of shit that happened in the dive school all the time. Like that, the fight club was like out by the pool. We had to go to the pool and like, which I guess we had access to. I didn't realize that we had access to on our off time. We could just swim in the fucking pool. Yeah, huh. And it was an outside pool, and we would fight there. That was where Clark beat a few people up with. One Win Chung dude tried to like say that Win Chung was the anti-boxing and Clark was a boxer, so Clark beat the fuck out of him, made him throw up.
Because Wing Chun is that shit where you're supposed to like. That's like what what's that fucking actor's name? Steven Seagal. That's supposed to be what he does.
He does Aikido.
Aikido, just as gay.
Yeah, Wing Chun is it, man. It's Doug. What's his fucking name? Doug. I don't know. He's in one of the Star Wars movies. He's the actor that plays It Man.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't see it.
IP Man. Hitman.
Well, yeah, I've done similar things. Like my wife, literally, one of the podcasts previously, my buddy Juan was on here, and he was a Marine, and he said he had done jiu-jitsu for like 6 months or something like that, and we were all drinking and shit, and then like we took a piss break, and on the piss break, I hear the mat, like I'm actively taking a piss, and I hear the mats like unfolding in our living room.
Oh.
And I was like, because apparently they told he's like, yeah, whatever. And then Danielle's like, oh, Ryan will roll with you. Like, yeah. Like I'll walk out there and I'm fucking like half drunk, and I see the mats and I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, Juan wants to roll with you. Like he thinks it'll be fun. And I was like, we probably shouldn't be doing this. I start taking like my watch off, my rings off, or my ring off.
Oh
and
no, I hope it don't fall.
I'm like pulling all the shit out of my pockets and like putting it on the coffee table, and I start tying my shorts. I'm like, I don't think we should be doing this. We've all been drinking. Like this isn't a good idea. I'm like tying my shorts and like fucking like tucking my shirt in.
Cracking your neck, popping your fingers.
Literally, I'm like rolling around, and then I sat crisscross.
Start doing the warm ups.
I sat like crisscross applesauce on the ground, and I was like, we probably shouldn't be doing this. And then I was like, all right, come on, let's go. It's like, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. As I'm doing all the movements of like I'm getting ready to fuck you.
Don't make me.
Yeah. And then we rolled and I beat him up. But dude, it's fucking it feels when you've rolled like today I went to open mats and I just got absolutely fucked up I don't think I got one submission. I did get one submission. I got one submission. So I got one submission.
Got Bailey.
No, she wasn't even there. No, but I honestly don't remember who it was. I have to think about it.
It was a girl.
No, it was definitely. Well, maybe. In today's world, you never know. But I think it was a dude. Had a dick. No, I'm just kidding.
I felt.
I'm just kidding. But like, I just got absolutely obliterated today. But then you roll with somebody who doesn't do any martial arts, and it's literally like.
Told you, like.
It's like you're like a hot knife through butter.
It's like 3 months in, you're just like competent enough to like fuck up anybody on the streets, really.
As long as they don't do jujitsu too. That's the problem is you can never know who does jujitsu.
Yeah, but I think when you get into, I think it's like blue belt. When you get to blue belt, you're just like, that's enough. When you get to blue belt in jiu-jitsu, that's enough to handle most anything on the streets. Purple belt's overkill. Yeah. And then black belt is just like, just continuing.
I'm making money off of being a purple belt.
Yeah, exactly. It's overkill. You're just like, so like, if Robbie had to deal with anybody in real life, like, it'd be. Did you ever see the video? Probably not. This like wrestler kid came in and was like,
in your gym?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen videos of gyms with wrestlers or not wrestlers.
No, he was just a new kid that was just like trying to. He's so dramatic though. Like he called out Robbie, and then Robbie went against him and like in wrestling and beat him and like wrestling and shit, kept taking him down. But like, Robbie doesn't do wrestling though. Robbie just kept out grappling him. Yeah. And he couldn't take Robbie down, and if he tried to, he'd get like submitted in some way. And the kid was like, Robbie went away, like, cause the kid was being like he kept clubbing Robbie with like a collar tie, and he like fucking hit him and like dazed him, and it pissed him off. So he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna fuck you up now, and he fucked him up. Then Robbie went over and sat down on the wall, like lay down like was talking with people, just crossed his legs and was just like twiddling his like ankle and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's laying on his back, and he gets up and he like does that like anime, like his hands are on the ground, just like stands up swaying and like looks at Robbie, and it was just like totally motioned him back over, and then Robbie just gets up and like comes over to him like crouched in like a wrestler stance, and came up to him and just fucking blast doubles him, just fucking forehead to sternum, both legs, just
Robbie did that?
Shit, yeah, you're like, it was just the level of how fast that kid went flying to how the speed Robbie was moving didn't make sense. You're just like, Robbie's like creeping over to him, and you're just like, poof, and it just flies. Like, what the fuck? And then Robbie submits him again, and the kid's just like done.
Did you get enough now? Did you learn your lesson?
Yeah, he was pissed because he kept losing. He just
Bro,
kept getting his ass
I
beat.
can't understand that mentality that kid has. Like, you have to be a little deranged, because like when I go to roll against fucking anybody, I just assume they're gonna kick my ass. And
Well,
I rolled against a guy.
I think he just didn't know. Like, he's just a wrestler, and in Jiu Jitsu, I guess there's one thing to keep going. Like, I've fought Robbie for 30 minutes before, but it's just a thing where you just like, you know that they have killed you 14 times already. And like the one time that I went against Robbie for 30 minutes is I caught him in a submission one time. For my first time, I caught him in a submission. Heel hooked him, and then after that, 14 more times later, he just
got personal at that point.
Caught me a bunch of shit. And it's just from it was always, a lot of it was the same, but so I just kept getting crushed by that shit, and it was rough. And this kid was just like, didn't acknowledge that he was murdered 3 times, and was just like, no, I'm a wrestler, I'm just gonna keep going. It's all about the heart.
Not really.
Yeah, until your heart
Explodes.
explodes.
Yeah,
stops working.
I just don't understand that mentality of like I don't know, I don't get that. I have the opposite mentality, which is like I'm surprised when I'm better than somebody.
Yeah, he was just, I don't know what his deal was. He might have been younger, you know what I mean, like 18-year-old
too
some
naive.
Shit. And that's how
he's been watching too many fucking David Goggins videos.
Yeah.
Too many Tony Robbins.
Stay hard.
Too many Tony Robbins videos.
Yeah,
just like,
get speared.
you can do anything if you believe it.
Yeah.
Have you seen? Do you ever watch Key and Peele?
Yeah.
You ever seen the skit where he like comes out of a basketball game, and the interviewer is the other guy?
Oh yeah.
He's like, you can literally
fly.
you
Kids,
can
go on
literally
top
fly.
of your roofs. Jump
can-
off.
You can literally fly. He's like, wait, quiet. You can't actually fly. And then he like goes back to me. No, you can. Don't listen to him. He's just you can literally fly. Yeah, and then he like cut to like the next day, and he's like, I would like to apologize
For all the kids that have
for the
killed
13 children that killed themselves.
yeah. But
I guess it's kind of a lame thing to hear to listen to on a podcast if you can't see the skit. It's a funny ass skit. Key and Peele is relatively slept on. It's funny
nowadays, especially.
It's a funny ass show. I really liked Key and Peele. It was like one of the last shows on Comedy Central that I actually liked.
Yeah, but with that in that's all we did in dive school though. We fought and dove, and then after dive school we got into the jobs and stuff. Then that's when I talked about the parties and all that shit and the 5-star trap house and
what
the 5-star. Remember we called it? We had the one room.
Oh yeah.
It was the 5-star trap house.
Yeah. It smelled like disgustingness.
Yeah, alcohol and chicks.
Yeah, to put it lightly.
Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck? You didn't even use the bottle opener.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Everybody listening, I have the Battle Axe bottle opener. You got to use it. It's just fucking badass, man. I just love it.
It's hefty.
That's what I like about it.
It's a weight. If you threw this thing, you would hurt somebody.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. I love that shit. Hey, easy on the table.
You bump it out.
I've literally taken it and been like, just fucking left a mark. No, dude, I've used this. Here's one podcast we got fucking real liquored up on. Like, my stepdad got me this thing for Christmas. It was a bunch of little shooter bottles to like try a bunch of liquors. I think it was like shortly after I was 21.
I don't know why I thought about, like, when you said that, my dad had these like guns that shot beer caps. Like, so it would open, it would take it, it would open the bottle.
I've seen this.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you could like
Then
launch it pretty
and you
fucking
could shoot it
far.
and they'd fly. Yeah,
Fucking pretty
that's what I
far.
thought. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of when you said that shit.
No, so little shooter bottles, like the little bottles of like just like a shot and a half or whatever.
Yeah, like the fucking
Little plastic ones,
Yeah.
bullshit ones. Probably got some somewhere around here, but
Fireball.
It was a bunch of bullshit ones. Like one was like an almond moonshine, like fucking pecan moonshine, and like just like the randomest stuff. And I remember we had gotten drunk enough where we were just like we started. So there's 4 of us on that podcast. So if you ever see a podcast, it's Wyatt and Cody is the title. Those are the ones we get really fucked up on. Like, and so that one
is that the somehow we're adults.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. You get it. He gets it. I'm gonna cut that. That's gonna be the new one. But,
Joe Rogan podcast by day. Or is it train by day? Joe Rogan podcast by night. All day.
Yeah. But so we started passing out like. I think we just took like okay, Andrew got the last shot. So if it falls on you, we just like spin the bottle. Like, okay, it landed on Andrew. He just got the last one. So we would just spin the bottle until it gets the next person. And we handed them all out. So like we were mixing liquor and beer and all kinds of stuff, and it got like I remember we were supposed to do that podcast in one take, and we ended up having to split it between 2 different like days of like recording it because it was one podcast was 2 different days worth of recording because we got so hammered like. Wyatt pulled his pants down, like just fucking. He spilled liquor on himself and just took his pants off. And this motherfucker doesn't wear underwear, so like his dick was just out. And like I was like, I was so hammered. I was like laying on the table.
Just made it into a microphone. Like this is now a studio.
Not even. I was just like the microphone was away, and I was just like, ah. I was like,
ah. You can take these things out. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just go acapella, dude.
My palms are sweaty.
Fucking shut up, dude. But so we got real hammered on those, and what was the fucking point of me telling you this? Oh, but I remember I was holding this, and I was like, I have a battle axe. I was just fucking gone, dude. It's so funny to rewatch now because I was like you just look at my eyes, and there's nothing there.
I have to watch that one.
That part of it's cut out.
Oh,
that part of it's cut out. Like I can show you it if you ever want to see it. It's funny. Actually, no, I don't even have that. Colton has that, but I can literally hold him like I have a battle axe. And like we're like all just like my other friends were like relative, like Cody and Colton were relatively sober. I mean, they're still pretty drunk, but like they were not nearly as fucked up as Wyatt and I. Wyatt and I are fucking like belligerent, and I threw up a bunch that night. I remember like. This is when we were short one microphone, so me and Wyatt would like pass the microphone back and forth, like whenever one of us talked. And I remember taking the battle axe, and I had what liquid death is, like canned water.
Yeah.
Like my
I
buddy,
thought it was alcohol for the longest time.
I did. It looks like it.
I was like, we're selling beer at Crunch now. What the fuck,
bro? They're fucking. My buddy brought a case of them over, and I was like, you spent $15 on waters, bro. Like. There's 12 waters here, bro. This is stupid. But
sparkling water.
But he left them here, and so I had a bunch of waters left over. So I took one of the waters and fucking my Wyatt and Cody are talking, and I'm just over here hammered as fuck. Like you just see nothing behind my eyes, and I'm fucking putting a hole in the bottom of a liquid death, and I shotgunned a 16-ounce liquid death water while I'm like full of just bullshit water, like liquids, like just mixed up alcohol and beer and shit. And I threw up a lot that night. A lot.
I'm gonna say it probably sobered you up. Yeah,
no, I fucking threw up a lot. I remember all my clothes on, sitting down in the shower as my wife was like showering me, like to get the vomit off.
Yeah, this probably shouldn't be in the hands of drunk people. It's sharp.
Fuck it, dude.
Fuck it.
What are they gonna do? I'll put them in a triangle.
Let's play that game.
Little finger, fucking yeah. I want to hear more about when you were in the Marines and like. Fucking Australia and where, because we really got Australia and Korea, South Korea when you went there. But I want to hear more about like I'm sure you've got like legit stories from there where you're like vivid memories
from Australia
or any of those places. Like, what's your most vivid memory of each country you've been in? Not necessarily like Passover countries, like shit you actually did shit in.
Philippines for sure. Australia for sure.
So Philippines, you were there only for like a little bit, right?
Yeah, but that was the first time like anything crazy had ever happened. Philippines was like, yeah, it's like Philippines was like when we first got there, like your first taste of like actually doing anything. When you came to a supposedly humanitarian thing, and it turns out to be fucking it's still humanitarian, but not as humanitarian as, you know.
I don't know what you're saying, Andrew.
Taliban being there.
I have no idea what you're saying, actually.
But I mean, one of my most memorable memories of that is definitely when the people, locals, like they have no house, no homes, no anything, and they're trying to do they're very, like, Asians in general, their culture is very generous, and they brought us rice with some kind of mystery meat, and I'm like, you don't have power or a house. What is this? And we're just, it's like, so good, thank you. You take it from them just to be like polite and shit, but you're like, let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
But that was
imagine shitting your brains out.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like, some dumbasses ate the rice still, but I wasn't even roll the dice on the rice. And I feel like the rice is probably okay. I'm like, I'm just gonna MRE it.
But what kind of water, bro? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of water did you cook this rice in?
How did you get this?
I heard on Joe Rogan's podcast today. I was listening to the Protect Our Parks. I don't know if you've heard any of those.
Yeah.
I was listening to like the newest one. I just pictured you eating rice, and Mark Norman called it Dumb and Dumber shitting. Like, holding onto the toilet, like lifting off of it, like shitting. I imagine that's what it's like eating mystery meat.
Yeah, I didn't really want to shit in some Asian country that was like, I don't even know. It was my first deployment. I was like, what the fuck? And so, and then nothing really exciting happened in the Philippines besides that. Like, just the
you didn't eat the mystery meat. You didn't even.
Fuck no, ditto meat.
You didn't just.
That's where the term ditto meat got coined. Was there?
I've never heard of that term before today.
Well, we said it then, and then after that, that was just it was just the uniformed word for any meat we didn't know what the fuck was, that didn't look like it was supposed to look like. So you like, oh, this is chicken, or this is cordon bleu. You mean that ditto meat, bitch? That looks like hamster. Like, I don't want that shit. Like, give me the rice and soup. I'll take that. Yeah. Can't fuck that up. But
I would have just like tried it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it.
No, not on a ship.
Why? Like, you know, places to shit there?
You do. Just that's not a place you wanted to get ill.
What if that shit's bussin', dude?
Some people ate it. I just didn't trust it. I was like, a lot of shit's undercooked here, and I don't want to fucking.
No, I'm not talking about the food on the ship. I'm talking about the rice and the mystery meat you were given.
Oh, no, fuck no, hell no,
bro.
If we're hanging on a campfire and you handed me something, yo, you want some of this? I'm like, I don't know what rodent you just caught, but I'm not eating that shit.
Have you seen Andrew Schultz bit about you know who Andrew Schultz is?
Yeah.
His bit about third world countries. He's like you know, I'm all for like women being equal. He's like, but every country where the women are equal, their food's shit. he's like the more that country's like, you stay in the kitchen, the better the food is. Like, and he just starts going in on that. So I'm like, if you're in like Asian countries, I'm like, fucking nobody's like, let's go get Canadian food. That's what he says. He's like, everyone's like, let's go get Chinese, let's go get Mexican, let's go get Italian. Any place where they yell at the women to go to the kitchen. You know what I mean?
I mean, Filipino food is.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, some of their shit's sketch because Clark's Filipino, partially, and so his mom, and then this girl he was like kind of talking to during dive school was also. We went to her house one time for like some food and shit, and like he was naming the stuff, and I was like, "What does that mean in American?" And he's like, "Oh, that's just fried blood," and I was like, "Nope."
It's just fried blood.
I was like,
bro, have you ever had blood sausages?
No.
It's not. Some people really like them. The one time apparently,
I'm just not a big fan of bloody shit. Like James, he's just, like James is borderline. I'm not gonna eat his fucking steak because he eats steak like fucking rare.
That's my buddy. Yeah, because I eat steak like that too.
Fuck that. I don't like the taste. Like the smell of blood, like is scarred into my head. So like the taste of it, just adding. You know when you smell something, you taste it.
Uh-huh.
Well, I've smelled
Half.
it.
I mean, like half of your taste is your
Yeah,
smell.
yeah. So I've smelled it enough that I'm like, if I taste it, it's just like,
the irony taste.
yeah, fuck that noise. I'm like, not a fan. That's why I can't have sex in the shower for some of those reasons.
So just to glaze over that topic. Blood sausage. What blood sausage is, it's basically like, imagine a sausage, and this is my best description of it. Is it's like eating a sausage, but instead of meat inside the casing, it's like cornbread, and the cornbread's wet, but it's wet from blood. That's what it fucking tasted like, and it's what it felt like. I'm a big person of consistency. Like, the food has to have a good consistency for me to like it. That shit, the one time I had it, my buddy, he works with a guy who is from somewhere in the Caribbean, and that's like a staple of what they eat over there. And it's like that's like you eating pizza kind of thing. It's like like, wow, this is a highly regarded food here. And he like makes a really good recipe, and you eat it cold. So imagine a cold sausage, but like it looks like a sausage, but like it's like cornbread on the inside, like texture of wet cornbread, and it's wet from blood. Shit, I literally was like, because my buddy's like, oh dude, it's so good, you got to try it. And I tried it, and I literally was like, do I have to swallow this? You know what I mean? I was like, this is fucking nasty. Like, taste-wise, wasn't bad. I could get past the taste. But the texture, knowing what it was half the problem. Because I'm like, I know this is wet because
I'm sure
blood.
if I popped a few of those little fucking fried blood balls in my mouth, I'm like, man, salty, but like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what that is? I'm like, nope, it's fried goat blood. And I'm like...
Fried goat.
I don't even think it's goat. I don't know what the fuck it is. But either way, I'd like just like look as a vampire or some shit. Yeah, I'd be gross. So after finding out I almost ate that mystery food, I didn't want to like roll the dice. Like,
I'll eat the hamster.
Your spring rolls are the same as other people's spring rolls, right? And I was like, yeah, just vegetables. I'm like, all right, cool.
What's a vegetable to you?
Yeah, what do you guys consider vegetables?
Any rodent smaller than 20 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a vegetable.
Are ants vegetables to you?
Bro, I think half of going to other countries, realize I've been to like 3 countries, 4, including America, but and 3 of them were on a cruise. The other one is America. But half of like other cultures that I love so much is their food. I mean, so many places like express their culture in their food.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
like,
There's I don't know why America hasn't even tried to replicate this. Taco rice in Okinawa, Japan. Holy fuck.
taco rice. What is taco
Bro,
rice?
Exactly. Taco rice is like, it's like taco salad with rice. Basically, it's kind of what it kind of comes down to, and shit's fucking like a attraction. Like everybody just goes there for like, well, you fucking such and such place has taco rice. And we'd go there and eat the shit out of it. Well, also because the portion sizes were dope, but because usually
like
Asian
large portions. Yeah.
Asian Okinawan rather. Like he's like, you want a Coke with that? And you're like, yeah. And they give you a shot glass of Coke, and you're like, why is this even paper?
Yeah.
Yeah. You might as well give me one of those like waiting room cones.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like you were drinking from.
Yeah.
And there's this is all ice. Like, you put a cube of ice in this thing, and I'm just like, all right, can I refill? Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's 25 cents.
Like sniff it. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, it's like just a sparkling.
The
little-
Capri Sun of soda.
Yeah.
You're just like gone.
Not even that, dude. It's half of that. Like, but
Damn.
it was, but yeah, it would have that was good. It's just, I don't know. That's what makes explain it. Like,
I get that
salad
too. So my
with
buddy went to Germany. He studied abroad for a semester or 2, and
what was the broad's name?
yo, no. So he was in Germany, and like if you ordered a water, it was more expensive and it was harder. Like,
I heard
it
about
was,
that,
It was
too.
like the glass was smaller. Like drinking, like nobody drinks beer there to get fucked up. That's just like what they drink. Like you can get a pint for cheaper than you can. Like a soda would be like a shot glass, and they're literally like,
Number one cause of death there is liver failure.
Is it really?
Fucking.
No, but I mean, culturally, we in America overconsume shit. In other places, they're like, yeah, I just had a beer with dinner. Like, we're good. Plus, they all have like, every town has like local breweries. It's not like Bud Light everywhere. You know what I mean? Like you can't like
local breweries.
Yeah, like every town is like you get the beer that's here, like, or fuck
that's
off.
it. Oh,
yeah,
okay, gotcha.
Like, as far as I know, I mean, obviously I haven't been, but my other buddy's been in Germany as well, and like they all said it's the same. It's just like you just drink beer there, and their beer is way different than it is here. Like, I saw something online the other day. It was like a guy had went to Italy and ate whatever he wanted to, and it was like pasta and all the like stuff that in America would make you really fucking fat, and he lost 15 pounds.
I actually heard that too. I had a friend that recently that I'm in the military with. They did the same thing. He went to Italy recently, and he had pasta and shit. He said he came back and he like felt better, like gut health better. He lost weight and like shit. Like pasta's not really good for you here. And then
enriched macaroni product. You ever notice it says it on the boxes now?
is that what it says?
It doesn't say pasta anymore.
Enriched macaroni product.
I'll bet you cannot go to a grocery store and find something that says pasta on it. Unless it says pasta sauce.
This goes on the enriched macaroni product sauce.
I shit you not, dude. I shit you not.
Interesting. Enriched. What does that even mean? What does enriched macaroni mean?
I don't know. I literally saw it today in a grocery store, and I told my wife, I was like,
"This is angel hair enriched macaroni sauce."
You're like laughing about it, but that's legitimately what it says.
Angel hair enriched macaroni,
or linguine, or lasagna, or fucking spaghetti.
Hannah, go to the store.
macaroni, and yeah, it's weird because I'm like, that has to be like. All the food companies wouldn't change their labeling unless the government made them. So it's like, why'd you guys change that?
Italy's just like Baba da Boopy.
That's racist, Andrew. Just kidding.
It's a Family Guy reference.
That's where I get half my humor from. Yeah, I like food. I'm like a fat guy, always at heart. I feel like the difference between me being 350 pounds and me not being 350 pounds is literally just not paying attention to what I'm doing.
Dude, I honestly, like, I like food, but I'm not like really crazy about it. Like, if I could honestly,
one sentence just contradicted the next.
I mean, I like food, but I'm not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I could just be Superman and get everything like my body possibly could need from the sun, that'd be solid.
My next door neighbor, Cody, he literally says if they made a human dog food that was just like you could take a scoop in the morning, a scoop at night, and it gave you all the shit you needed. He's like, I would do that.
They do. It's called Huel.
What is that?
It's like Huel means it's human fuel. It's a drink though. It's not a food.
Oh.
They do make foods actually. They do like these like pasta things you can cook in the microwave. Well, enriched macaroni products. But they're more like on the wall.
I like how you like hung out there for a second. You're like, well, you like paused perfectly. I was like, what, motherfucker?
That are like a quinoa rice kind of thing, and
that's gay.
They're pretty good.
Just talk about the fuel, dude.
They're pretty good though.
Yeah.
And they have, if you have, I think 4 of them or 5 of them a day, is everything the human body needs, or some shit like that.
Is it expensive?
No, it's relatively cheap.
You might have just changed my next door neighbor's life.
Yeah, like
he's just gonna order that in a 50-pound bag.
I use the drinks in my locker at Crunch, and I will drink them like as an intermediate thing. If I can't go get food or something right now, because I have it's called Huel Black. It's 40 grams of protein and 20-ish grams of carb. And I'll drink that thing.
It's a meal replacement.
Yeah, it has like all like potassium, all these other shits, omega-3s, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it's supposed to,
Are you a Huel shill? Are you a shill for this company?
What?
Are you a shill for this company?
No.
You're just selling their products, dude? Would you get royalties or something, dude? What the fuck?
Not at all. I just use it sometimes, and then it's good. Like, it gives you like a chill, mega chill feeling.
Is it gonna make you shit, dude? That's what I worry about.
I just have fiber in it, so I mean, it depends.
Does it taste good?
Yeah, it tastes really good.
Which
really good.
Flavor? Which one do you recommend?
The one I like a lot. I currently have the cinnamon one and cinnamon roll rather, and
I say cinnamon roll. I can do cinnamon. Fuck that.
No, cinnamon roll, and it's and I have the strawberry cheesecake one was sick. Yeah.
Strawberry cheesecake sounds on God, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
But yeah, that
I'm pretty basic with my protein powders, though. I do either chocolate or vanilla.
I do too usually because I usually mix them in and shit.
I like being able to add peanut butter
Yeah, just because it's like
or banana.
I can make this into something like with smoothies and shit. But with that, it's not something. It's not. That's already a smoothie. It's just so you can change the consistency of it by adding shit.
Do you
to
do
it,
just water with yours?
Yeah, literally. You can do you can do whatever the fuck you want, but I just do water. And it's 400 calories per thing.
It's pretty high calories
so
for a protein.
5 of them puts you about 2,000.
But it's not just a protein shake. It's a meal replacement.
If you get the regular one, like Huel Original or whatever, it's lower protein. It's like 25 protein to 35 grams of carb. It's more like meal-like. It's not very high protein. Yeah.
You ever mixed it with like oatmeal or anything?
It was either Huel or some form of protein. I think it might have been Huel.
Because that's one of the things I like to do is like mix my protein powder and shit that protein powder normally doesn't go in, like oats or fucking yogurt.
I'd be dope in yogurt. I bet
Greek yogurt mixed with protein powder.
It's two big ass scoops. Not like if you look at meal replacements, they're like fucking laundry detergent scoops. But this is like fairly decent size, like 2 scoops. I couldn't do 2 scoops in yogurt. It'd be too fucking thick.
Well, something we talked about too, and I think that you should talk about on here as well, is like creatine, the importance of creatine.
Importance of creatine?
Yeah. Because I started taking creatine because of our I saw a lot of people, like fitness influencers, talking about how like good creatine is for you.
Yeah, it's like I think it's one of the, if not the most studied.
It is the most,
supplement in the world, and
it's in red meat.
Yeah, it's any protein, like high protein meat, like in all meats in general, like it all has creatine.
I think they said if you eat red meat like every day, like a 5 ounce or whatever portion, something like that. If you eat a portion of red meat a day, it like gets you your creatine needs. The problem is most people don't eat that much red meat.
Yeah, it'd be rough. So if you supplement, but even if you supplement it with it, it was like it increases like endurance, muscle endurance, lean muscle mass production, recovery. It really plays on your creatine phosphate system. So it's like that 1 to 4 reps, I think, 1 to 4 rep range, explosiveness. So like that initial burst of energy. So it'll probably give you like a rep or 2 extra, in the gym.
You also like you last longer in the gym. Speaking of like different exercises and shit, right?
Yeah, and again you just like people say it's like, oh, it makes you retain water and makes you bloated, puffy. It's like it's cellular water retention, so you're not really gonna actually see it.
Your cells function better.
Yeah,
from what I understand.
Yeah, because it's like used in like the production of ATP stores. So yeah, I use it. I think it's a staple. I actually use a product called Strength and Power by BodyTech. It is so literally everything that like heightenly or increases protein synthesis. So D3,
vitamin D3.
Yeah, vitamin D3. It's like 300% of your daily intake. HMB, I think we talked about that, the beta hydroxymethylbutyrate, which is like a metabolite of leucine, which leucine is an amino acid. It's like the most responsible amino acid for like muscle growth. Well, when your body metabolizes it, only 3% of it becomes like HMB. And so when you take H&B straight, it's like if you take like 3 grams is what is in that supplement. It's like I think it's something like equivalent of like 600 grams or something of leucine or some shit.
Which is hard as fuck to get in your diet.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of protein. And then also it has creatine in it. So 5 grams of creatine, 3 grams of HMB, and then
vitamin D3.
Vitamin D3. I don't know how much gram. I think 1 point something or something like that grams.
Most people don't do vitamin D by grams though. They go by
milligrams.
No, units. Like IUs.
Oh,
or something.
IU. Yeah. UIs. I use. No,
I use.
yes.
Yeah, because I take like 6,000 units a day. I take a shit ton of vitamin D.
Yeah, that's what. Actually, I think it might have been measured in. I use actually.
Most of the time it is.
Yeah.
So people listening to, like, as far as vitamin D is more like a hormone than a supplement. Vitamin D is like one of the things that most of the country is deficient in.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking staple.
I forgot who it was, but they there's like I think it was a meta-analysis, which a meta-analysis is like a bunch of other studies done about the same thing that are brought together to
some separate researcher pulled studies together.
Yeah, everybody pulls all these different research studies together and finds the common denominator of it. Like, what is the result they all found? I think it was something about the vitamin D deficiency, or like when vitamin D started to kind of plummet in society, autism started going up. So they're linking unofficially like autism to a vitamin D deficiency. That's why like prenatals and stuff like that have like, you know, EPA, DHA and stuff in it. In general, just give you those omegas.
It's also, vitamin D is a huge thing for your immune system. So many people have, I mean, we are like probably, if I was to just speculate, I would say we're probably like number one in the world per person having immune deficiencies.
Yeah, I think like the whole contradictory and controversial statement to say to stay inside when COVID was going on, like versus going outside.
So you get less vitamin D because everybody's just not going out. They banned parks and fucking beaches.
That's like in England, I think, and like Oregon and Washington, like it rains so fucking much, the clouds. So, you know, it's like a depressing area because there's not like as much vitamin D you can get from the sun. Hannah was Hannah that was telling me about the Florida has this like level of sun like rays to it that it's like something about it's more potent sun or some shit in Florida compared to like
probably just because we're closer to the equator.
Yeah, I imagine it's something to do with the equator, but it's something to do like with more. Yeah, our sun is different than our sun hits different. That's what she's basically getting to. Our sun's blessing.
Well, but vitamin D. So as somebody who is immunocompromised, so many neurologists, because they're the ones who like deal with that kind of shit. They'll tell you like you need to be on heavy doses of vitamin D. Like, there's really not a scientist. Count all that out. This is what my doctors have told me though. Vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, meaning that you technically can overdose from it if you take a shit ton of it. But you really can't overdose from it, if that makes sense. Like, if you take a reasonable amount of, so I'm supposed to take 5,000 units a day, and my doctor told me, he goes, or you could take 5,000 units in one day. He's like, you could take 35,000 units in one day, and you'll be fine. Because it's just fat soluble.
Yeah, fat soluble versus water soluble.
But it's easier for me to remember to take one 5,000 unit pill a day than it is to remember to do it once every 7 days.
Yeah.
So, and I also take a multivitamin too, which is abnormal. That's the hard part too about being a young person that wants to take multivitamin, because you don't get most of your vitamins from food. You really just don't. Not anymore.
Yeah.
And so I take a multivitamin, and finding one that isn't for 50+ year olds. Like a men's vitamin, you're like 55 plus, 50 plus.
What's the one? There's the one for like Opti Nutrition makes one, I think, and then Opti Nutrition for men, or Opti for men, or whatever the fuck. That's one, and then there's another one too.
Most people don't take supplements when you're this young.
Vitamin, yeah.
I take a fucking fistful of supplements. I take CoQ10. Do you know what that is? It's like a brain.
Oh wait, yeah, CoQ10, yeah.
It's really good for your brain.
What's it has? I think it's either Rain or Bang that like talks about. It says that they have that in their energy drink. Yeah,
it's good for your brain.
Yeah,
but I take that because I actually have lesions on my brain from having the issues that I had where my immune system was like attacking my brain. They have no idea why. They have no idea how it affects me. Like, I still have no idea how it affects me either. I take MRIs, I think every 6 months or every year to make sure they haven't changed, and knock on wood, they haven't changed in years. But, weird shit.
I've been drinking mud water recently, more so.
What do you think about that? I've heard about it. Tell people about what it is first.
Mud water is like it's like mushroom coffee. Well, they say it's a coffee alternative. They don't really sell it as a coffee, which realistically it doesn't even like give you a coffee vibe. It's more of like a chai tea or a matcha thing. Like it doesn't give you the coffee taste to it. But hot is hot though. You know what I mean? Like if you drink something hot, like if I give you like hot water in a mug, there's something like
it's different.
Yeah, it's something that's like really like soothing about that.
Yeah.
So like when you do hot, I drink the original or the coffee alternative one hot, and then I drink the matcha one usually cold. Just because I like matcha tea cold. But it has a bunch of different mushrooms in it. Mushroom mycelium, which is different than the actual mushroom.
Bear with me 1 second, Andrew. I think the camera stopped recording. Sorry, everybody. The video cut out for a second. And I don't know when, so if you didn't see video for a minute, that'd be why.
Robbie just added me on Instagram.
Oh, shit, dude. It's fucking official.
He must have made a new Instagram or something.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird. He usually doesn't. I don't know.
Don't read too far into it, bro. Just let it be what it's going to be. So tell me about some hot mud water, my dude.
All right, so the hot original, like the original blend or whatever the fuck it is it kind of like, it's more of like a chai tea taste because it has like a cinnamony-ish, like very faint.
Doesn't taste like mud?
No. I tried it like bland first, and I just tried it without anything on it or in it, and it wasn't bad. Tried it this morning, and then
You just got it recently?
yeah.
Shit.
I've been drinking the matcha. I had like 3 or 4 of those bitches. They're so good. But I tried the regular one, just normal, like for, just normal shit. And then it wasn't bad. And then I mixed, like I put like 2 tablespoons of creamer in it, and it was the tits. So
I heard that.
Yeah. Came from a dark place.
Came from a dark
but
Sorry, that got me.
But that shit's good. And mainly it's because it's like the benefits of it. I've been like listening to more podcasts and like listening to more things about and reading up on like the effects of mushrooms and shit. And that's a fucking rabbit hole. And
I want to watch that Paul Stamets.
oh yeah, Stamets. Yeah, that's pretty.
Stamets. Whatever.
Yeah, he fucking cured the bees. Like he saved the bees. Basically, he found the thing to kill the virus that was killing the wing deterioration disease they had. He has like 4 patents or something.
No shit.
On shit, yeah. And
He's a weird mushroom dude.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing a video on Instagram, and this is what reminded me of it, where he was like, Joe Rogan like asked him a question.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, I'm not going to answer that. My life is at jeopardy.
It was about shiitake mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I read a comment. Bro, let me read this comment because this shit's fucking crazy to me. This guy, he wouldn't tell Joe Rogan something because of it. And I screenshotted it because I was like, this sounds fucking crazy. Let me see. Okay, so Portobello. So someone commented because he wouldn't say something. Someone commented what it was. It said like portobello mushrooms contain arginine, which is a toxic chemical that can be easily synthesized into hydrazine, which is used in explosives and rocket fuel. Arginine in its raw state is toxic to humans, cancerous, and mutagenic. People who eat these regularly can and will find tumors throughout their body. These are the main mushrooms in the food supply, along with common white mushrooms sold at stores, which is also Arginius bicompus, just like portobello is. The FDA and pharma are closely related. Pharma benefits from the food that makes us sick, and Stamets is onto it, and that's why he will lose his life if he speaks on it. Something like that. I screenshotted that comment because I thought it was fucking crazy.
That is wild. Yeah, that.
But dude, I like mushrooms mixed in with some stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
well, this one
tumor
has
here, tumor there. Fuck it. No,
portobello mushrooms. Yeah, I fucking hate mushrooms. For starters, I can't eat them for anything.
It's a consistency thing for me. If it's like a canned mushroom or something like that,
I just can't. If they're small, sweet. If I can barely taste them, sweet. I'll eat them that way.
Is it the taste or is it the
texture and taste?
The texture is fucking weird. It's
texture and taste, like
it's very weird.
The taste is just like you can't hide it. Like I can't. I ate a hamburger one time that had no idea it had a fat ass portobello mushroom on it, and I was like, why does this taste so like? I know I'm
earthy.
Yeah, why? No, it's like, why does it taste like shit? Like, why don't I? This is gross. And it was your classics Western type of. It was like
Swiss
Western
and portobello or something.
Yeah, it's like a Western. No, it didn't say portobello on it though. It's like Western bacon hamburger or some shit like that. So I saw bacon, I saw barbecue sauce, and I was like, sold. And then turns out there's a mushroom the size of the fucking bun on it. And I was eating it, and I was like, what the fuck? I got 3 bites in, and I was like, bro, what is this? I started taking it apart, and I was like, what is that? It was a mushroom, and I was like, whew.
Maybe it wasn't supposed to have it on there. It was just a real sketch restaurant you went to.
Yeah,
grew it on the meat.
But the coffee has the mycelium in it, not the actual mushroom fruit. So
mycelium meaning what?
So mycelium is the stuff underground. So mycelium,
like the roots of the mushroom.
Yeah, you should really listen to that podcast with Paul's statement on it.
Stamets.
Yeah, Stamets on it, because he talks about it too. It's kind of crazy. Like,
I need to. That's one of the future ones.
That mycelium, like, that's the way, like, because the mushroom is the end of life. The mushroom is the fruit of the mycelium. It's like the end of whatever the lifespan is. The mycelium is still like the beginning of it, so it's more enriched in it's like nutritional value or whatever it has in it. So, like lion's mane is one of them. Reishi is another one. Chaga and lion's mane, reishi, chaga, and some of them have turkey tail, and some of them have another mushroom in it.
I believe you.
Yeah. So the lion's mane is more of like, the lion's mane is a really big one. It's like considered a superfood.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the superfoods, and it has, from what I understand, has a lot of neurogenic effects. So like neurogenesis, so it helps with like stage off Alzheimer's, ALS, any kind of neurodegenerative disease.
Yeah.
It'll help fight that off. And cordyceps was the other
cordyceps.
one.
Yeah, I was like, I know there's one that I've heard 1,000 times.
Yeah, cordyceps. So then you have reishi, which is known as one of the kings of mushrooms. It's a really big immune supporter. And cordyceps has like a stamina and like endurance component to it. But I try to drink 2 of the matchas, because the matcha has like 300 milligrams of mycelium in it versus the other coffee shit has, or I'm gonna start calling it chai tea. The chai one has like 2,400 or something like that in it. But they're good as fuck.
You just said 300 for one and then 2,400?
2,400, yeah.
Don't you want more?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going to drink the chai one more.
I drink the matcha one more. The chai one is the less one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chai one has 300. The matcha one has...
I try to drink both of them every day. Like, just because this... Like, to
have
see
you noticed any kind of difference since you started drinking them?
It's only been like a few days. Like, so I'm gonna see what like week 3 looks like.
Yeah, it's like,
which is gonna be hard to do because I have that stupid military thing to go to for 2 weeks. So probably not gonna be able to do that.
Pack little Ziplocs full of your powders.
Yeah. I don't even know how to do that though. I don't know how I'm gonna get hot water and shit like that. So
don't use hot water. What do you need hot water for? Dry scoop that
shit. Trying to
dude.
mix that shit with a spoon though.
No, just dry scoop it, bro.
A tablespoon of just like, that's how God. Your teeth are green as fuck.
Oh God. I've never understood the dry scooping shit. I have a buddy.
I dry scoop creatine, but that's about it.
Sheesh. I mix that with my protein shakes.
Well, yeah, if I do that, but if I'm not, I'm just trying to get the shit in. It's like a tablespoon, like a little fucking just.
It's a really small serving.
And I'll just put it in and just fucking swish water around in my mouth. Take 2 gulps of water and I'm good.
Do you get the unflavored shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. It's super cheap too.
But that's why I like the
90 servings for $40.
Yeah, if I can get that strength power stuff, that shit's dope. I got like gains off that thing. People thought I was on steroids. Well, they still do, but that I was like really being cute because I was like, "Yo, how much do you weigh?" I'm like 180, and they're like, "Fucking shit the fuck up." Yeah. I was like, yeah, but when 180 pounds, like,
I might switch to that.
what are you doing?
I've been really big on Jocko's supplements recently. Like I really like his protein powder, the Jocko Mulk.
Yeah.
Have you tried that
the coffee
before?
stuff? Yeah, I've had the coffee one too, and the protein too. Yeah, it's like 30 grams of protein.
It's 22 grams of protein, the one I have, but if you mix with 8 grams of protein in the milk that you
I
drink.
had the pre-made ones.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought the
If Huel made a pre-made 40 milligram or 40 gram protein meal thing that they have, dude, I'd buy the fuck out of those. I just hate mixing shit. I'm just like,
Bro, I don't know about you, but like I have limited shaker bottles. So like
I have 2 45-ounce shaker bottles
what do you need that many ounces of shaker
for space, because there's nothing worse than them bitches get clumped up in the top. Like if you get that much room and you have a ball in there and you just fucking, it's like you're not getting like that debris of like just that caked up.
You get the inertia.
Yeah, you don't get that. You just get the fucking. You get
I feel like we're getting a real gym shit right now because I feel the same way. Like sometimes like I'll take my bottle, I'll turn it upside down and like fucking smack it on the counter.
I hate that lip that happens. It's just like you open it up and protein powder just comes out from it.
100%. 100%.
It's literally like a mushroom spore. Just yeah.
Yeah. I get the vanilla one because his protein shakes, like the vanilla one tastes like a fucking milkshake, dude. It's so fucking good.
There's nothing worse than clumpy. That's another reason I couldn't do like that matcha stuff in the field, is because it just clumps up, and there's nothing worse than clumpy drinks. You're like, it's just pulp in this.
Dude,
I had pulp-free matcha.
Colton gave me this shit one time. It was a casein protein, which casein's supposed to be slower digesting. This is when he was like real into bodybuilder shit. I saw it at his house once, and I was like, chocolate. I'm like, how bad can chocolate really be? And he's like, you can have it. And I was like, bro, it's like a 5-pound thing, and you like barely used it. And he's like, yeah, I didn't really care for it. And I'm like, I'll just mix it with shit, like whatever, stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
And bro, this shit, when you mixed it, was like glue. And the longer you let it sit, the more solid it became. And I shit you not,
ice cream.
because like I'm real, like when I pack my lunch to like go to work and shit, like I'll put my breakfast on top, because I don't like I'll try and drink my protein shakes at lunch or whatever I was drinking my protein, I would like pre-mix them because it gives it more time for the clumpiness to like dissolve. You know what I mean? Like I would pre-mix them in the morning, and then by the time lunch comes around, when I would drink it or whenever I would go to drink it, it would be like it'd be dissolved even if it clumped. And that shit, like I remember the first time I used it, I opened up my fucking protein shake bottle and I just turned it upside down and nothing came out.
Slid.
No, dude, nothing came out. It was like a fucking sludge. Like it was like you looked in it and it was like watching grease roll down the fucking thing. It was like slow as shit. And I was like, what the fuck? So I added a little bit of water to try and get it to loosen up, and it tasted terrible. I was like, I'd rather be deficient in protein than fucking drink this shit. It was disgusting. I ended up giving it away, and I honestly don't remember who I gave it to. I think I gave it to Tommy, and I wonder how it turned out when he drank it. And I told him too. I was like, full disclosure, this tastes like ass. It's not good. It doesn't mix well, and it's muddy.
How many times did that thing get passed around before it's empty?
Fuck, dude.
Everybody takes one shot of it, tries it one time, and they're like, "Oh, this is terrible."
That shit was
Give it
gross.
to the next person.
I wish Colton was here right now so he could tell you.
How many servings was in it?
It's a 5-pound thing, so 30 or 60.
60 people. It's gonna take to empty that thing out.
I had like 3 servings to make sure that it was shit.
Make sure it's like, it's still gross.
First time I was like,
We call that insanity.
First time I was like, maybe I just let it sit too long, and you're not supposed to let it sit. Because when I shook it up that morning, I was like, oh, this looks like a protein shake. So I tried it the next day, and I was like, it still tastes like ass.
This is concrete. If you let it sit, it will solidify.
Then I mixed it with Greek yogurt to see how it would taste mixed with Greek yogurt, like a vanilla Greek yogurt with chocolate. I was like, maybe that would taste better. And nope, still ass, dude. Absolute ass.
You try setting it on fire?
Bro, I would rather eat raw eggs. I would rather Liver King, good morning primals, and just fucking down shots of eggs.
Liver King. Fuck that guy.
That's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? As somebody who does steroids yourself.
Yeah. If I looked like that guy,
bro,
I'd be doing jiu-jitsu.
Dude, that dude was fucking shreds down.
I like how he's like, I just dragged this really fucking heavy sled for a mile, and that's why I look like this.
No,
You're like, what?
when Liver King first came out, like all my friends, like two of my friends, Cody and Garrett, they were like, he's for sure on steroids, and I was like, I agree with you. However, I've also never met anybody that eats like that. I was like, that's fucking weird as fuck. I was like, I don't know for certain, but if it comes out that he's doing steroids, I would not be surprised. And when it came out, I literally was like I was on Instagram and it came out and I was like, what's next?
Yeah.
Like I just didn't even it didn't even fucking
entertain it either. I was like, dude, your skin is red as like you're like perma embarrassed. Like your fucking shit is red. Like your blood pressure is through the roof. Like you are fucking.
He also
out.
I don't like the character that he portrayed because he was a character. Liver King's a character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we live in a world where Joe Rogan's the biggest fucking podcast in the world because he's such an authentic person.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you think you're gonna be like, good morning, Brett? I was like, motherfucker, you don't talk like that.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to do. You're saying in your little apology video that you want to like help people's lives and shit. But in the same instance, it's like, be a good fucking person legitimately. That's the hard fucking part.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and it's like, why try to convince people to eat raw organ meats? Like who gives a fuck? Like you just.
he sees a benefit in it, and I understand that.
Even
part,
like
but
Peter Attia talks about it. It's like nothing's gonna replace fitness. Nothing's gonna replace working out. Like these all cause mortalities that
decreased by like what 200% or something like that.
You can't.
If you had a VO2 max,
There's no fucking pill that's gonna do this. It's just a hard work. The grind is really what it's going to be. And it's like
waking up at 5 a.m. and going and doing the shit.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast by him recently, and he was talking about.
He's a motherfucker.
Kind of
interest.
Yeah, I love him too. He's actually what I would like. When I was still kind of am, but the pursuit of being a physical therapist, like that is going to be that as a doctor in general, or as not a physician, but if I was a physician, in general, that would be my approach. Like I couldn't be the guy that just like rode the coattail of my education. I'd have to like continue education, learn on what the new thing is.
It's constantly changing.
Yeah, it's
science
always changing.
Science is a practice. You practice science. It's not the science isn't determined.
And so people just always are just like they just live on that. It's like no, now we are saying this. So he's like my spirit animal. But if
I think Shane Gillis is mine, but continue.
But he he talks about that, and he had an interesting concept that was interesting. It's called so you have forecasting, and he had backcasting, which was like, what would you want your last 10 years of life to be? Which is an interesting concept, fitness wise. It's like, what would you want to be able to do in your last 10 years of life? Like your last decade. Everybody doesn't know when that's going to be, but when you're in it, you know that you are in it. Mm-hmm. Like you can't say, oh, it's going to be between this age and this age. But when you're in that last decade of life, you're aware. You're like, yeah, this is my last 10. What would you still want to be able to do? Like get on the ground, get back up off the ground, play with your grandkids. Like, what would you want to do? And then like work out toward those things. Like do things in life that allow you to be able to do that later, because you can't stop working out. That's the ultimate thing. But nobody ever wants to do. They just want to find a new, like that magic pill we talked about last time.
Semaglutide.
Yeah, semaglutide. Yeah, exactly. Like that's just gonna be this thing that replaces workout. Like if you can have a pill that imitates working out. I guess the closest thing you can get to like is sauna, maybe caffeine, maybe like heart as far as cardiovascular goes.
Well, they have fat burners that essentially just jack up your heart rate and keep it there.
Thermogenics.
Yeah, but it just as somebody who lost weight like by going to the gym, lifting weights, and fucking eating egg whites and fucking shit of the sort, like
makes you like more cautious to not do those things because you know how hard it took you to get there. You know what I mean? If you had a pill, it'd be like, so you're like, oh, I'm just gonna stop this week, and then next week I'll pick back up on it with the pill. But and then it'll change my body. But like if it took you fucking X amount of years to get to this point, and you're like, if I took a year off, granted I wouldn't slide as far back as I like back to where I was, but I would be happy. It's
honestly to do that, it is a lifestyle change. To lose weight without medical intervention you have to change your fucking life.
Yeah, no.
That's what I tell people, and it's as easy or as hard as you make it.
Yeah, my job is to convince people to do that every day. So that's like so it's an
That's so Cody helped me with that. So Cody had lost weight first. He went from like 270 plus to like 200 pounds, or I think his lowest weight was like 196 or 194, something like that. He's 6'2", so he's a big motherfucker. And when he lost weight, I was still fucking like 280 plus, and I was like, "What the fuck did you do?" Like, he's like, "Oh," like I was like, "Will you go to the gym with me?" Because like I was already at that point. I would go. This is what I viewed going to the gym being. I'd go to the gym, get on the stair climber, and I would do an hour on the stair climber. I would do like fucking 140 floors, and then I would just leave.
140 floors. Were you climbing?
Fucking
World Trade Center.
pretty much. I'd just get on there and go on for an hour, and I would just set it at like 6th floor or whatever the 6th pace was,
Yeah.
and I'd just leave it at that. And I would just fucking watch a podcast or watch YouTube or whatever for an hour. That was what I viewed going to the gym. So like the bad part about that is it's like doesn't do anything for you.
Low intensity.
It's like mid intensity. That was probably like zone 3 for me, or zone 2 probably at that time. But still, it was as intense cardio. But like, A, like that's boring as fuck. B, like it. But the good part was we'll ignore that. But basically, what it did for me was it allowed me to create the habit of going regularly.
Yeah.
But when you don't know, when you're like fat, you don't know. You just don't know. That's why you're fat. You don't know shit.
Yeah.
And that's why you're unhealthy in the first place, is you're uneducated. And, I started watching Athlete X videos and shit.
It's surprising, too, like how what you think is common knowledge is not very common. Like, just talking to people like, oh, my God, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Like, the caloric value of this, that, or the other was 4 or 8 or 9. Like, oh, that explains a lot. I love bacon. Like, yeah. Told you, dude.
Bacon is delicious because it's fucking calorie dense, my dude.
Yeah.
So same thing with like mayonnaise and Chick-fil-A sauce and sauces.
Fucking Chick-fil-A sauce, bro.
So good.
I eat it every time I eat Chick-fil-A. Like, yeah, can you give me 3 of them bitches?
Yeah, it's basically like I'm eating a soup of Chick-fil-A sauce with a utensil of food to get it in my mouth. Love that
I was
shit.
eating it. I had me eating my kid Chick-fil-A, and I was like eating it, and I was like, you should really try this shit.
He's on busting.
He's 3. He's like eating his little chicken nuggets, and I was like, bro, you should.
This shit.
Tell you, just try it once, change your life.
Yeah, this is like crack cocaine,
I don't like
bro.
it. I don't like it. I'm like, you don't know that you don't like it. What you don't know is you don't love it. You don't know that yet.
There's life before Chick-fil-A sauce, and then there's life after.
Yeah,
and life after is where you really start living.
He just says he doesn't like things because
he hasn't tried them yet.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like it. And like,
Shit's
I'm not
busting.
going to convince you because there's only 3. but Daddy's going to eat his chicken nuggets and his chicken sandwich and his French fries while you eat that regular stuff.
Shoot, bland ass food.
I was like, all right, last chance. You gonna try it? No, okay, cool. No, I'm not gonna ask you again. Just 2 times. That's it. That's all you get.
Bro, I love that. It's like shit. Like if there's like a little bit of Chick-fil-A sauce in the corner, I'm like.
I took the sandwich. I was like, he's like, it's empty. I was like, nah, there's still some there. He's
still
like, all done? And I was like, nope, still some more there.
Bro, I'll fucking open my sandwich at Chick-fil-A, dump the sauce on there, and then close it, and then dip the sandwich in the shit too. I just can't get enough of their Chick-fil-A sauce.
Put the third one on top.
Yeah.
It's like it's in it, it's on top of it, and I'm dunking it in it.
Dude, I can go ham at Chick-fil-A. That's besides the point. But so many people don't know. They just don't know. And like the same thing with Jiu Jitsu. The hardest belt to get your white belt, right?
Yeah, they're white belts at fitness. Nutrition.
And that's what it is. You really have to. You're just an educator. So Cody, when we first started working out, like that's where he started getting more into like nutrition and shit with me. And like I didn't even know how to run or do cardio. Or I knew how to do the stair stepper for an hour, but like that was low impact fucking cardio. It was tough. Most people couldn't do it, but I guess I had the fucking legs for it, and I could just coast. And none of my friends could do an hour of cardio with me alongside there. Their legs would be on fire, but it didn't bother me at all. Well, like Cody, I remember the most vivid thing I remember nutrition wise that he said was, he was like, do you drink coffee? I was like, yeah. He's like, what do you put in it? I was like, cream and sugar. And he was like, stop doing that. I was like,
yeah, I don't drink. I try not to drink calories.
and he was like, stop drinking it. No, he said, I'm sorry. He said, either drink your coffee black or don't drink it at all. And I was like, I tried to call his bluff. I was like, I just won't drink it at all then. He goes, good. Don't do that. And I was like, well, I'll do anything else. I'm not doing that. And you realize like all this little bullshit when you're fat that you hold on to that like, because like it's comfort and it's like, I don't want to change. And it's like, you realize to change, you have to change, right? Like,
yeah, you're gonna change that
like,
motherfucking waistline.
I'm like, if you're at where you are at because of your habits,
As we
do you
drink
want
beer.
me, the guy who's teaching you how to do this thing, who doesn't look like that, to tell you what I do? Because if you do, then here I am. But if you don't, like, I'm gonna go to the next person. You know what I mean? Like, so I started drinking my coffee black. It wasn't at that moment. I tried to fight him on it for a while, and then eventually I taught myself how to drink coffee black. And now I fucking love black coffee. Like, I like it more than coffee with shit.
Yeah, I try not to drink calories. With
Beer. That's pretty much the only calorie drink I drink.
I barely drink beer, but
Once every couple weeks for me.
yeah, maybe once a month, depending.
I just like the taste.
Yeah, same. Well, that's why with these darker shits, that's why I gotta be careful with them. But no, I'll do like that mud coffee shit, or mud water. I'll drink. I could drink it black, right? Brown, whatever, but whatever color it is.
Mud.
Yeah.
Mud color.
But green, whatever. But the matcha is like just good. I mean, you drink it with almond milk, like whoop de fucking do.
Yeah.
And I think the creamer I use has 25 calories in it, so there's that. And but
so many people drink fucking 200 calories worth of soda.
yeah, but if I drink
at lunch and dinner.
if I drink a soda, it's 0 calories. If I drink anything, it's usually 0 calories. The only time I ever drink things that like really, really have like a crazy amount of calories in it is if it's like a
Protein shake.
No, not even that. Like a the body armors. I'll drink those during my workout.
Yeah, but that's just, you're getting half of that's because you're burning so much shit.
Yeah, which I sweat so much. I just want that potassium and electrolytes in it.
I'm aware how much you fucking sweat.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Yeah, sauna, Jiu Jitsu, working out. So yeah, that's the reason I drink those. But other than that,
Yeah.
it's nothing.
Main thing for me for drinks, I occasionally I will have like a regular ass Coke. Because there's just something about a fucking ice cold fucking Coca-Cola. Shit just
Coke Zero, bro.
slaps. Coke Zero is just like, it's like Coca-Cola's gay twin, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, wow, this is almost the same thing. It's like,
if you get used to, I don't even know, like honestly, if you drink the regular shit or the zero shit and then drink the normal stuff, if you're so accustomed to drink the zero, you don't really taste the difference. Like if I drink a normal Coke and I'm like, is this the normal shit?
I don't crave it. So I will drink the zero stuff. I'm not saying I won't, but
Dr.
like
Zero is the shit.
sometimes, sometimes I'll just be like at a restaurant or something, and I'm like, you know what? I'm having a goddamn cheeseburger, and this is like fucking American as fuck. Like, give me a goddamn Coke. You know what I mean?
You mean a
Nothing,
Bud Light?
just huh?
You mean a Bud Light? This is free commercial.
Yeah, no, I legitimately enjoy like a fucking nice fucking Coca-Cola. I don't know, man. It's
Goddamn
delicious.
eagle screeches in the background.
Telling you, dude. Fucking dude rolls by. He's too fat to stand. There's a little fucking scooter. America.
Yeah. I'm dude. Pizza for me.
Pizza?
Like fuck, I might actually have pizza tonight. Maybe I'll have pizza tonight. That is my goddamn. Me and Hannah will have like frozen pizzas. Yeah, and we'll have that. We'll make a night out of that. That's our date night.
Yeah. Daniela's been making protein pizzas. Like, so she found a recipe for crust. Pizza crust. It's like thin crust, but it uses Greek yogurt predominantly.
Oh yeah, you're talking about
Shit's pretty
Hannah
good.
does that with
Makes me fart a lot, but it's whatever.
She does that with bagels. These like bagel egg sandwiches she makes. She does that. She has Greek yogurt and like, yeah, there's like some kind of like flour Greek yogurt hybrid. But yeah, that stuff's fucking good.
Yeah. Well,
She can
a lot of what you do, I'm assuming, like, I'm just guessing because most of the fucking like fitter people I know, they eat the unhealthy shit, but they like make it not so unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like, so the unhealthy people will take like full fat, like fucking Duke's mayonnaise and like full fat, like
Duke's
regular, like good ass cheese. Like they make delicious ass food. But
this is my 7-layer macaroni casserole.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like
7 cheeses.
But like you can take things that's been a huge thing for me. It's like people that are unhealthy think that the people who are healthy drink like fucking wheatgrass juice and like. Did you ever see the TV show Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
You remember the fucking Chris dude who was like, "Is this full fat eggnog?" Like, oh, I would never. Like, you know what I mean? Like they think that's what fitness is, but in reality, it's like no, they're just regular people. And they also enjoy the same foods you do. They just do it differently.
Moderately, yeah.
Not only just moderate, like portion size is a huge thing for me because I can eat like a fucking shark, dude. I just glaze over and I'm just fucking.
Well, we
keep
do have
shoving
pizza
calories.
nights. I'd eat a whole entire frozen pizza by myself. It'd just be-
Oh, easy money, dude.
yeah,
That's a fucking
me in
snack. Fold that bitch like
California,
a taco.
Yeah, California. What is it, the California?
Pizza kitchen.
Yeah.
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 Bussin'. Yellow box, bro. I don't even know what you're talking about, but
I've heard of it. I've never even had it before. I've just heard of it. I see it at Walmart when I pass by.
but no, like so in moderation, which is hard. Because I will like naturally be like, oh, I'll eat a little bit more than this, and I'll give myself 30% more on an extra scoop. You know what I mean? But like, I find making healthy alternatives is like my biggest thing.
That and like ultimately,
Like lean ground beef instead of fucking chuck. Chuck is fattier beef.
yeah.
you know?
I also don't eat a lot in a day. Like I chase a protein number, but realistically, I don't think I eat a actual shit ton. Like I'm definitely below my caloric, like when I burn calorically daily, definitely below that.
I have to try to be under that. I have to like actively try.
I don't have to. It's just like, dude, if I added cardio, I need to. I'm about to actually. To my regiment, dude, I just like can't keep up. Fuck it, we're going down. My weight just starts to go down. Get lean.
My stomach capacity, I guess, is just like I can eat. I can fucking throw down calories like it's nobody's business.
I'm a big proponent of intermittent fasting. I do it, but I don't do it per se. I used to do it intentionally, but now just kind of like I think it's like a habit. Where ultimately it's like not even an intermittent fast. I don't stop eating at a certain time. It's just I just don't eat all day. Like I don't know. It's just like I said, my calories are just way below, and then I get on my cardio. My biggest fucking thing right now is just trying to figure out a way to recover. Like I do too much, like lifting 4 days a week. I've gone to four days a week, and then also adding running, and then also Jiu Jitsu every motherfucking day, sometimes twice a day, and it's just like.
Honest question: do you take naps?
No.
Probably
Sometimes I should try.
You should implement naps, like legitimately, like an hour-long nap.
Yeah,
Especially with how your work-life balance is. Like if you could get like a midday nap, like that's what Khabib was doing for recovery. Like he would, because think about it. Your body recovers. You release the most HGH during deep sleep, and if you can get extra deep sleep, like you're getting more fucking human growth hormone.
Yeah, I should do that more. I do saunas and shit like that, but
sauna's great for you too. Sauna helps you sleep better.
yeah.
You ever tracked your sleep before?
Especially when you get this. No, I've never have, but especially when I get this gym going and up and running and stuff, I think that I'll be working a lot more, but I'll have a lot more downtime as well. Like I'll be able to take naps in between classes and shit, especially between the 10:30 and if I'm teaching the kids class, the 5:30 class.
Yeah.
Like
you should check out Whoop, man. Just, like track your sleep and shit. See how well you are or aren't sleeping.
I feel like I sleep pretty good when I do sleep. It's just like getting like when I do get 8 hours of sleep or 7 hours of sleep, I'm like, okay, cool. But when I get like short, I'm like, if it's 5, like the next day I feel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I do nap, I do feel pretty good. It's just I can't 30-minute nap. If I have a 30-minute nap, I'm like
cranky.
I wake up foggy. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Takes like fucking 4 hours to recover from
yeah,
it.
I gotta wake up. Like I'm cognitively not there.
I do. I forget. I think. Do you know who Ty Lopez is? He's like a business dude and YouTuber kind of guy. Don't Google search him. You're gonna end up with fucking 1,000 ads from this guy. But he's like he's big on social media and stuff. But one of the things he talked about, and I don't know why it stuck with me, but he mentioned how he read a book about how if you're gonna take a nap, take an 18-minute nap. If you don't have time to take like a fucking 3-hour minute nap, he said. Not 19, not 17. Set a timer, 18 minutes. Try to fall asleep. Because it's basically like it's enough time for you to fall asleep, but it's almost like you're like restarting your engine. It fucking, dude, it's honestly like that's something Daniela and I have been doing for years now. If we don't have enough time to take a long enough nap, I will literally take an 18-minute nap. I'll set a timer for 18 minutes, and like as soon as like I can feel like consciousness slipping away, it's like like my fucking timer goes off, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
I don't know if I could time that. Like I already set. I don't know if I could sleep that fast. I guess
I'll fall asleep in 6 minutes, dude.
I gotta like think. Okay, so you got 2 hours. Let me give myself 30 minutes to scroll.
Well, okay, so that's different. So, I didn't tell you I scrolled for 30 minutes before I set the timer. It's different.
Yeah, I gotta like. I have to have like a 2 hour. I don't even work out if I don't have a 2 hour window. Actually, I need a 2.5 hour window to work. 2.5 to 3 hour window to work out because I want to warm up. Which takes about 3 minutes. Then I got my workout itself, which is about an hour, and then I want a sauna.
20 minutes.
And then I got to shower and then get ready.
What do you do for sauna? 20 minutes?
Yep.
I like the sauna. That's one of the things that I wish I had. So I go to the work gym for free. I wish I had a sauna, but
I want to buy one.
I want, dude.
Hopefully, one day when this gym starts making me money like that, I'm gonna fucking buy a sauna.
It'd be tits, dude. It's worth the money. It's worth it.
Okay, 10. I think it's like at 10 G's or just under 10 G's.
That's a real nice one too.
Yeah.
For an at-home gym. Yeah.
That's like a 3-person.
Yeah.
Fucking one. That's what I want. And then a cold plunge that I can maintain cold.
Like a actual plunge.
Yeah,
actual
plunge.
brand
Yeah,
plunge.
yeah,
Yeah. Not one of the like $100 ones on Amazon.
It's like here's this insulated basket you can sit in.
Bro, do you ever take cold showers?
Oh yeah, I used to do the 10 minutes, alternating 1 minute every minute on the minute, an imam shower of 10 minutes, and I would just do cold hot for the hour for the 10 minutes, and then be done. It's called contrast therapy.
Fuck that.
This shit sucked, but when you got halfway through, it was kind of good. You kind of looked forward to the cold because the hot was so fucking hot.
Let me walk you through my regiment. So this is what I do. When I go to bed at night, I take the comforter and I throw that shit the fuck off my side of the bed. So I sleep with just the flat sheet because I like to be cold as fuck when I sleep. I sleep better when I'm cold.
Same.
Everybody does. It's just scientifically proven. Just what it is. I don't know if you follow. I think his name is Dr. Matt Walker or something like that. He's like a British dude. He sounds British at least, but he's like a sleep specialist.
Turns
doctor.
out he's Australian.
It might be that. I'm American, whatever, dude.
Oh no.
But he talks about all kinds of shit like that. And so I sleep cold as fuck. So I wake up cold as fuck. And there's things about cold showers or like cold plunging and stuff like that you shouldn't do. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That.
Oh, okay. So where the fuck are you at? Oh, he probably is.
Yeah, I don't know. So she texted me. Anyway, continue.
So I wake up cold as fuck because I keep my house like cold and it gets cold at night. So it gets cold as fuck at night and I wake up cold and then you're not supposed to work out within. I think it's like if you're going to work out, you shouldn't cold plunge for like another like 5 to 6 hours after you work out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it affects your hypertrophy.
Yeah.
Which to people listening that might not know, hypertrophy is like growth of the muscle, right?
Yeah, it's blood flow. It's like hypertrophy is like the blood that is in that area. So like inflammation or the swelling or the pump, if you will. Yeah, it's just a bunch of blood pumped to that area.
Well, it's what you're going for essentially when you're muscle work. Like
and ultimately it will cause like muscle protein synthesis. Yeah. Because
when you do cold exposure, what happens is all your blood goes to the center of your body to try and conserve heat.
Yeah, I've done that before with. It's beneficial for someone for like performance. Like if you're trying to do cold performance, it'll keep cooling the muscle down, so you'll keep that hypertrophy away. So that you can keep going. So like I would argue that like Andrew Huberman said this too, that if you put cold on your feet or hands in between rounds in MMA fights.
Oh yeah.
That would probably make you feel better. That would probably bring you back quicker.
Yeah. And forehead, palms, and the bottoms of your feet, because that's where there's a special kind of skin there that prevents you. 100%. So Yeah, that is great. But like actually, like what a lot of people would do is they would take a cold shower after they worked out. And it's like actually hurting your gains. It's what Andrew Huberman was saying.
Yeah.
So, so if I work out after work, then it's like, I have to take a cold shower in the morning. So when I take a cold shower in the morning, I'm already cold when I go in. And then what I was doing, which is fucking miserable, is I wasn't starting with hot. I was starting with cold, and that's how I was taking a shower. Fuck that. That shit sucked ass.
It wakes you up though. Like I was.
No, I was already awake because I was cold. And it's just now I'm shivering.
Yeah. You get those gasps.
Bro, I felt fucking sick, dude. I literally felt like it was like all of like what your body would feel like when you're sick. Like I never felt a benefit from cold showering.
When I did contrast therapy showering, like a cold hot.
I might try that. So you said 10 minutes, and it was like every minute on the minute you'd flip it to
switch it from like hot, super hot, where like almost unbearable hot, like fucking Danielle.
sauna.
Hot.
Like trying to cook, like how women cook themselves.
Yeah. And then as cold as it could possibly go.
Yeah.
And then switch between those.
So 1 minute cold, 1 minute hot, 1 minute cold. So you're doing 5 minutes of both.
Yeah.
Because that contrast when you switch. Oh man, it's supposed to be like really good for like the brown fat in your body and shit.
The cold exposure is really good for that.
Yeah.
That brown adipose tissue.
Well, it's the switching from that really hot to really cold. Like it might not even be that actually cold, but because your body, like your temperature went from hot to cold and then back.
I think it's every hour spent underneath 50 degrees is increased to your brown adipose tissue.
Yeah. Which is what your body uses to like heat itself up.
Yep, heat itself up. Yeah.
I'm cold a lot. Ever since I lost a bunch of weight, like I used to be hot all the time. Now I'm fucking freezing like all the time.
Not insulated anymore.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, not as much as I once was. Like I literally have like at work, I have a blanket and a fucking hoodie because I fucking freeze myself.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm hot. Well, no, you said I'm hot all the time. So I constantly, especially if Hannah like curls up to me or touches me.
Oh, bro.
Like, bitch, you get the fuck off me.
Bro, so you have a child. Did you ever hear the thing where it's like you can technically overheat the baby because you're a dude?
Did not know that, but it makes sense because my son would like when he was sleeping in the bed with us, he would like, I didn't like it because I would try to be away from him, and he would just find me. He would just like come fucking looking, like he would just be sleeping and he would just scurry toward me and then like attach to my back. So if I couldn't roll back to my back, I just stuck to wherever.
I move a lot when I sleep, so fuck that.
Yeah, so I would go to roll back over and I'd feel him and I'm like, wake me up. I'm like, you motherfucker, and he's just like attached to my back. It's just, I'm comfy. Don't move, Dad.
Yeah,
like,
backpack.
Yeah, I'm like, get the fuck off the bed. I would like, and I would lay there and he'd be on his back, like all sprawled out, and then his foot would touch me, and I'd move away from his foot, and then he'd like keep chasing me with his foot, and then his body would follow. It was the drone, and the mothership has to find out where the heat's coming from, and then his whole body would come looking for me.
Yeah. So, what the fuck was I gonna say? Holy shit! Too many beers. Too tired. So. We were talking about sleeping. Yeah. So babies, apparently, men can overheat the children for some reason. Women, you can hold them fucking skin to skin all day long. They won't overheat the child. I found that out when my next door neighbor had his baby. And
hypothermia.
You can just overheat the kid. You can literally like cook the kid. I mean, not literally, but you know what I'm saying? Like you're too hot. Like it'll make the baby uncomfortable and overheat the baby. I don't know why that's that way. But I think it's weird because I'm like, me and him were literally talking about it yesterday. I was like, how fucking weird is it? Like when I sleep and we all sleep with fucking women, like they're fucking like furnaces, dude. Like sometimes I just can't even fucking like stay like 2.5 feet away from me because you're fucking like.
I think it's just that extra. Like 'cause even myself, like I'll put like the blanket between my thighs a little bit just so that they're not touching each other when I'm sleeping because of the skin on myself. Heats myself up. Yeah. So
I sprawl the fuck out, dude. I'm like fucking.
So like Hannah starts laying on me or something. I'm like, I'll roll the fuck over. I'm like, all right, get off me.
Yeah.
Take your ass over there.
It has to be real cold for me to be seeking the furnace, dude. I'll be like, oh, it's fucking freezing. Like.
Yeah. If we're cuddling, it's because it's initial maybe, or maybe we're in a cold room or like, or we don't have blankets on us or something. Like it's just to balance it out. Like. Yeah. Other than that, get the fuck off me.
Yeah. 4 hours, bro. We just rolled
Again,
4 hours.
Another 4-hour one.
I don't think we're going to go for 5 and then cut it down to 4 and a half. I don't think we're going to do that again. I'm about fucking tired, my dude.
Yeah, plus Hannah's
Blowing you up. Yeah, time for supper. Where the fuck are you?
Yeah. She doesn't ever call me, really.
Oh, really?
She does, but she doesn't, like, call me.
I don't know what the fuck that means, bro.
She, like, will call, like, she'll call, like, to see, like, you know, from the store or something, but she won't, like, she'll just shoot me a text. She won't even call. She'll be like she's like, where are you? And then she called me.
Well, we officially talked more about dive school and a bunch of other random shit. And a little bit about the military, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to do this on a regular basis, I guess, to get all the fucking stories out a little by little.
We'll slowly but surely get it all out.
I'll just schedule one of these every, like, 5 podcasts. It'll just be like, Andrew Femmer. We should probably just call it, like, the marvelous mystery of fucking Andrew.
Find out more this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked more about Jiu Jitsu, though, this time, so.
I mean, dude, you're easy to fucking talk to. So, honestly, like, I've had people on the podcast where it's, like, pulling teeth to get them to fucking say more than one sentence. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be the one that talks right now. Cool.
It's probably Hannah. But yeah, 4 hours pretty easily. Like, I was like, nah, there's no way we have 4 hours more of shit to talk about.
Shit's fucking easy, bro.
And so Hannah's like, yeah, shit. I was like, yeah, there's no way we're going to be that late. She's like, we could be like there till like 10 o'clock. And I'm like, no, there's no way. And 10 o'clock. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's easy. We're both talkers.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you're, like, quiet.
Yeah. I'm only talking when I need to be.
Bitch, you talk all the fucking time. Shut up.
I need to be. But if I don't need to be talking.
You must always need to be talking, motherfucker.
No. When I'm just hanging out with people and shit. Sometimes I'm just really quiet. I'm just not saying shit. And it depends. But if I need to, like, entertain or, like, talk about somebody about something, I can pull the conversation from them. I could podcast.
I could talk about anything, bro. This shit's the most fucking fun, man. I love this thing. I can't believe that people allow me to just do this. I say people. Me allows me to do this.
Time or patience. I don't want to do it.
It took a while to get here, to get to this point. And but it was just like an idea of like, this is what I'm gonna do. Fuck it.
Fucking jump.
I got my white belt and now I'm a blue belt. You know what I'm saying? All right. Thanks for coming on again, Andrew. I'm done. I'm gonna go to bed.
Me too.
Peace out. This episode of Somehow We're Adults is over, but if you'd like to support the podcast, you can subscribe to one of the levels of the Patreon, where we will release bonus episodes that can't be found anywhere else. Any of the money that we get from the Patreon would be used to upgrade old equipment, as well as get new gear so that we can make the best podcast for you to tune into. You can also follow the podcast Instagram at Somehow We're Adults, where I share clips and content about the podcast, and the link in the bio will take you to any of the Somehow We're Adults pages. I encourage you to check out another one of the episodes if this is your first time listening, and if you're a repeat listener, thank you for your support. I love making the podcast, and I hope you tune in for future episodes of Somehow We're Adults.